What's up, you beautiful bastards?
Hello?
BTB
Hello.
back in the house. Another episode of Hardpoints. Folks, we're talking about the Stage 2 group results for the CDL leading up to the Stage 2 major. Some crazy stuff going down with the teams. Some roster changes that we need to talk about. And goddamn, are the BTB looking good today. Maven's headset's one of the most straight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's incredible stuff there. Why is your head so big? Are you like closer?
My brain. So
Yeah,
big.
I mean, you got a large brain. We're all on the
Yeah.
same page there for sure. Boys,
It's huge.
how are we doing?
Doing
I got a
good.
new name tag. Zombies
Yeah.
are on a superstore.
Oh,
Oh wait, I haven't opened that yet.
I got mine too. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna land there for a while.
Wait, did
No?
they put your?
You're not
actual
gonna
name
go?
tag on that?
Have you seen? Have you been near those things?
I've been there. EMPs, the ones that blow up.
Wait, the ones at TV are vicious.
They are
I'm not
nuts.
going
I
over
mean,
there.
you already got to deal with 50 rose skins that Maven can't see. They say got 200 ping.
These zombies, I
Hey,
get no
hey.
aim assist on the zombies.
I
Oh,
grew
yeah,
up
you're on
today.
mouse, so. Yeah.
I grew up today. I turned off the thing that shows the ping and FPS and
Wow.
packet loss. I don't want to see it anymore. It was getting in my head, when I'm dying to people and
Did you turn on the fake
Asia
streamer mode
and
so you don't have to see
Australia
the Korean names too? Or no?
ooh, I should do that.
Well, then you don't know the name of the hackers.
Maybe
Yeah,
both of you do that,
Too many
good
hackers.
point.
so you can't see it, but there's too many people that cheat.
Included in the game.
I also have a name tag in case Maven forgets, because that's probably coming soon.
Nice.
I'm gonna forget your name soon. Joe,
Yeah, your
face called you
Shit.
old.
your name's my clan tag on the game.
Oh, that's it.
so?
Yeah, okay.
So I remember.
That's good.
Yeah.
So first off, happy. I hope everyone had a nice Easter. It was Easter Sunday this past Sunday. I hope you guys all had a great time.
Acid.
Lots of crazy matches for the CDL that we're gonna walk you guys through, and then give our predictions for the major coming up. It starts on Wednesday. It's coming up soon. Tomorrow. And just to start, dude, we brought up Warzone a little bit. Why can't they change the goddamn meta? What are they doing? Oh no, the AUG shoots got a little bit more recoil. It's still you can one burst someone in the face, dude. The FFAR, it takes like another quarter of a second to ADS, but it kills so goddamn fast. Raven,
No.
come on, Raven. Who's testing this stuff? Who's doing it?
I don't.
Well,
Go ahead,
you
Chris.
go first. No, you go first.
No, you.
Okay, fine. I was just gonna say like the issue with these weapons that like I with the FAR specifically, because there's a fine line with burst weapons where as soon as they nerf the AUG a little bit, it's gone for good, and you'll never be able to use it again.
Good.
So I agree, but I understand like where they're coming from with that. But with the FAR, like the FFAR is an assault rifle, and it has a faster time to kill than any SMG up close. Like they just have to nerf that, and they just keep doing the recoil and ADS. But like that doesn't make any sense. As long as
It
that
makes
gun
no
kills faster,
sense.
as long as that gun kills faster than any SMG does up close, you're never gonna use anything else. Like it doesn't matter what they do to it. So I don't know why.
Off is like, did you guys read the patch notes that they put up?
Yeah, that's
today?
what I was just saying.
The
The way
patch-
they read it,
Dude.
or the way they spoke about it, I was
What
like,
did they
okay,
say, Joe?
the burst guns I kind of get, right? Like, because like Chris said, you nerf something a little like the burst gun a little too far, they become obsolete, which I'm okay with. The M16 is there, and I think the M16 will be viable in a way. But the AUG is just do the fire rate. I mean, they just have to nerf the fire rate. It's just insane. That's what makes it so tough. Like, it can be a little bit difficult to shoot like long range, but it's just two bursts with how fast it is, and you get a medium range kill. You might even get a close range kill with how quick that thing shoots. I mean, you get melted. In the FAR, the way they talked about it, I was like, yeah, we don't really like that this has been outclassing submachine guns. And it's like, all right, so
here it is. ADS
why do you
speed
think
has
that
been decreased.
ADS speed is going to change?
Chat, read this. The
ADS,
FFAR is
like
a
what?
jack of all trades. It has the damage profile and range of an AR as well as the fire rate of an SMG. They just said the fire rate is similar to an SMG. So what should they nerf, guys?
Yeah. And
Come
it's
on,
out.
it's there.
It's edging out SMGs at ranges. Yes, because it's a medium range gun. Like, listen, the FAR it's a tough gun to balance because the fire rate. Listen, we know about COD fire rate. Well, how quick it is, especially in this game, the time to kill. A high fire rate weapon that is easily controllable is going to dominate. It always has. It always has in COD. Like, what are we doing here? The time to kill is quick. The faster the bullets shoot, it's gonna be quick.
I think it's got higher
Can't
headshot
have crazy
damage too.
recoil. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Come on, man. And we've seen this. What pisses me off is we've seen it in COD before. The perfect example to compare to the FFAR is the FAMAS going back to Black Ops 1 when me and Joey D were fucking frying, baby. Clint was still probably getting shit on in Halo. But
We even saw
what
it
do
at
they
the
do?
beginning of Cold War, though.
Yeah,
They
right,
even nerfed
sure.
it in multiplayer because of what it was. It was the FAMAS. And then
Anyways,
they were
it's
like,
like
nah, this is way too good.
the
And
damage-
they did in like 5 days.
The damage, the fire rate's too high, and what do? They lower the ADS speed. Awesome. That doesn't help us. I still get zapped
And
by
at
some
the
little
same
shit bot.
time, fix the rear grip. So now the ADS speed is basically doesn't matter. Because they nerfed the ADS speed, but then they fixed the rear grip, which increases ADS speed.
You know who likes a nice rear grip? Maven. Everyone raise your hand. Chat. Rear
Dude,
grip.
they need to fix the FAR, but like the AUG, I pissed me off. But I guess the FAR, I don't know, since I like the snipe,
FAR,
FAR
you
is more of an
melt,
issue.
it's kind of a
bro.
nice like do it all. Well, it's made just because I like the car so much. It's been like nice, but it is like it's so.
The Mac
It
10
literally
was
is
nice
so good.
car
at
too, though. The
everything.
Mac 10 was fine.
Yeah, Mac 10's like, I thought was
Yeah.
in a pretty good spot, to be honest.
I feel like the AUG at least, the AUG and the FAR both have limitations though. The FAR really long, well, both at like really long range are tough. Well, more the AUG when it's like on a heady or something. Like it's hard to rip someone off a heady. You just
But there's
can't.
no
That's
other
why-
gun right now that is really good, like super long range, because they
Yeah.
balance. So what does that do? Like if
The
you get hit by a
was still
kilo
really
or a
good,
draw,
yeah,
but you can close the gap because the time to kill is at a good spot. Unless you
It's
get
not-
sniped, you get to the medium range and then you kill them. I mean,
It's just
that's
not as
what it
bad
is.
as the DMR or the Bruin, I guess. So it doesn't bug me as much.
Anyways.
I hate it, but it's not like it's bad.
A little bit of Warzone talk. We'll get into CDL stuff, chat. But I took off the agency off the FAR and I threw on the airborne elastic wrap, and that shit's cracked, bro. I like it. I'm gonna stick with that one for a while. Task force, is the best.
Auto tax for
Yep, exactly. Task sprint, fuck it. Strafe speed, task force. Fuck
fastest
it.
36-year-old man in the world.
Yep. And I think the strafe speed's absolutely insane on the FAR too. Like how can you, when you start shooting, you move faster than your regular walk speed? Your guy's going like this when he's
Yeah,
shooting.
no, I
Fucking-
actually like lost. I lost a couple gunfights because I was like strafing so fast, and I'm a mouse and keyboard, so like it doesn't.
Yeah, it's
stick,
hard
and
on
I
mouse.
just, like,
Dude,
No,
I've
it's
done
like,
that.
when your shot's on, it's fine, but when I was a little off, I'm like.
If you're not used to it, was what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like aim assist, it'll just like track the guy, kind of,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But on mouse, you'll just fucking wild.
It's weird with Cold War weapons though too, because there's either you have the strafe speed like that or you're stuck in the mud. I don't really know how that stuff works, but it's
Keep-
weird. Like I feel
keep
like I pick
drunk?
up some
I'm not
weapons and
drunk.
I just can't move when I shoot. So
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Speaking of drunk, you know what I tried recently? Well, again, sidetrack real quick. Clint, I know you don't drink anymore, so no point for you.
That's all right. You sidetrack me.
Do you guys like Jameson?
You're easy to.
Crowder and
Yeah.
Joe? You
I
like
love
Jameson?
Jameson.
I haven't really had like much
Yeah.
Jameson.
Okay.
I would try it.
I got it's like a cold brew coffee Jameson, and it's fucking incredible. It's like, it might be my
Ooh.
favorite thing right now.
Really?
And when
Yeah.
you've been saying like I'm gonna go get some more
Yeah.
coffee on stream, you're spiking it with that.
I
So-
probably should. The streams would be more lit.
Yeah, it'd be a great time.
It's not a
I would-
bad idea.
I would
The
take
vibes
a
are
shot
definitely
to
there.
cheap vodka and chase it with water. So I said hydrated.
All right, let's talk about weeks 2 and 3 of the groups. All right.
Yeah.
I love Baldy. You're an idiot. What I'm gonna throw out first is the standings for the stage 2 groups for CDL. Bang. Group A, Faze up top there, 4-1. Subliners 4-1 as well, but if Atlanta Faze has the first seed there, they get to winners round 2. Ultra third. Ravens 4. Guerrillas 5. Thieves not looking great. We'll talk a lot probably about what's going on down there for the Thieves. Group B, you see Røkkr was able to win the tiebreaker. Group B was one of the craziest groups you've ever seen. Clint, I know you were tweeting about all the tiebreaker potential situations of some of those last matches. But Røkkr ends up locking down the first seed. Optic Chicago at second. Dallas Empire at third. Surge fourth. Paris Legion. And then Florida Mutineers.
I only tweeted because I saw a couple times in my mentions someone posted like that screenshot everybody saw. But the one thing I was wondering about was what went down with that. If maps came into play, I guess, and on that thing it had like all the map counts, and then League Ops sent me something where it didn't matter at all. I was like, all right, so something's not correct. I don't know what else was wrong on it, but that's why I was tweeting.
Well,
because
you
some of
just
this
didn't have
was wrong.
tiebreaker, like 4-week tiebreakers,
Yeah,
correct?
'cause
Something like that.
People
It was
just
around
going to
like
map
if
count,
Optic
not head to
wins,
head or something.
or if someone lost, I forget the match, but someone lost and they got Optic in, and then Formal was like, "What?" And then the one guy was like, "That's not right. Here's a screenshot." And of course, they're just trying to be like, which I mean, listen, those people they work hard, they try to help the community, but just got it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure most of it was correct, but it's just it might have all been around the tiebreaker because we don't usually go to 4 fucking tiebreakers
Yeah.
or 4-way
that's
tiebreaker.
wild.
Yeah, it's actually insane. But yeah,
It was awesome.
I didn't really think that group was going to play out like that, to be honest with you. But the fact that it did was super cool. So I don't know if we want to just go down the line that we have here in terms of the seeds, but I guess we could just get right after it. We usually start with Faze just so Crowder can get his takes out of the way and have more of like a better conversation. Obviously, we try and remain as unbiased as possible. You know, I joined Envy. But that does not mean that I'm like I'm not with the Empire. I'm not coaching. I'm not like, so I'm going to keep
you didn't
saying,
get hired to fix their search?
No.
So you're just throwing me under the bus. then.
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify because, I read that comment about 5,000 times the past couple days because we announced Envy and everything. And a lot of people are like, oh, team's coaching. Like, no, not like I'm not. Nope. I'm content creator for Envy. Okay. So when I talk on this show, I can say whatever the fuck I want to say still. Okay. Crowder can't.
Do you still think
but,
Crim's a little piece of shit?
I mean, Crim can be a piece of shit, but yeah, he can be. He can be mean and hard-headed.
Yeah, he's great.
But who can't
We love
be?
him.
I love Porter. I mean, he'll probably admit it too. But sometimes you got to be that way to get your team where they need to fucking get to. Straight up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with Faze. Sorry to get all. I just want a little disclaimer for you guys, chat. Okay. Crowder, your team's looking good. Obviously, you get the first seed again going into the major. Little shake up against the Guerrillas, though. What thoughts on that one?
I mean, I think the Guerrillas played well in the searches. Like they look good. The Apocalypse might have been some of the worst plays I've ever seen a Call of Duty team make out of us. So that was pathetic. But
Hardpoint last year.
yeah, it was just shitty plays after shitty plays. I was watching them. We were watching the mini map and we just were like, holy shit, we're actually doing it. Okay, we're doing it. Yep, there it is. All right, there's a game, and then it was chalked. Like there was a few key moments in that were really, really, really bad plays just out of us in general. And then the Guerrillas played well in search. I mean, I don't think we had our best day, but at the same time, like we've talked about it in the league a bunch of times. If you have a bad day and you play any of these teams, they're all incredibly, really well-rounded teams. You're gonna lose. So we had a little shake up there, but I think it was a good loss. I think losing, if you react to it the right way, is always a positive thing, as long as it's not too many losses, So I think that was a big thing for us to kind of like learn from some of our mistakes in search, see what we're doing wrong, and then some of the plays that we saw in those hard points we can obviously fix. So I would take away as that it was a good thing for us. I don't know. I love watching my team lose. That's always been my favorite thing. Like even like
Better
when I
lose
was
now than in the major.
no,
Right?
yeah, even like 100 Thieves, it's a long. When I was coaching 100 Thieves, it's a long game. Like, of course, you want to win champs and you want to go far and you want to win everything, but losses are really, really impactful if you use them the right way.
Does it worry you though? Like, all right, so I guess we've talked a lot about how your main focus was fundamentals and always being locked in and no bullshit and scrims and so on and so forth. And I've kind of come out and said that I think why you guys are so scary now is like, even if you have an off day, if you're playing fundamentally sound, I thought you could still get through with the win, but you proved that's not true necessarily. And you guys can come out flat and can come out like idiots. So are you worried?
But that was also against like one of the top 3 search team, right? Like you lose 2 searches to that. Like that wasn't always the case.
I guess my question is like, are you
coming out flat is more of a respawn thing? And I think we had an off day and we could have easily won all 3 respawns. Like we only won 2. So it's like I as bad as people are making it seem for how our team lost, like I don't really think that was like a it was still a 3-2. It was a close series.
Kind of like last year.
I think as well, though, Clint. Yeah, but Clint, you got to remember last year when they were going to those game 5s, like they're vetoing the best for themselves. They're in a tournament. Like it's a group stage game. You're playing maps like, teams are gonna focus Express versus them more than likely because that's where they have a couple of losses. They're playing that. They're trying to get more reps like in these group stage games. Like that's what they're trying to do. A little different now when you have to win. You're playing your best maps. Like they're not playing their best maps.
No, 100%. But I guess my point was just I thought maybe you got them to a point where they're always going to be super fundamentally sound and on point, and they weren't. So
Yeah, I mean,
know
well,
everybody worry.
even I mean, I feel like that's every team's worry though. I don't think you'll ever in a 12 in a
Can't be
6
perfect,
person, in a
basically.
6-person Call of Duty professional league. I don't think you'll ever have an invincible team like where you're gonna lose. Like it's gonna happen. That's why like that shit's bound to happen. It's just all about how you react to the loss is what actually makes you a good or bad team.
It's still
And I
God
mean,
right now.
as terrible as everyone said we came out that day, which I agree with everyone. Like we still won 2 maps in pretty good fashion. Like we still played well. Like it was just some stupid ass mistakes on other things that costed. So that's gonna happen. No one, dude. I would say that for any single team. I think any coach watching their team. I think every coach's biggest worry is coming out flat because if you do, no matter who you play in the league, you're gonna lose. Like that's just what it is. I don't think you're gonna be so far ahead where you seem invincible. I know people are saying that, but you're gonna lose here and there. That's just
It's like
competitive
Call of
nature
Duty is
any-
one of those things too, where it's like, this might sound dumb, but like it's easier to make a mistake after a mistake. It's like, how can you like?
Oh yeah.
It's easy to like in a hard point, for example, to have that like snowball away. All it takes is one shitty setup,
Makes sense.
and then you go
Exactly what happened with
to
K-pop.
yeah,
we got smoked.
yeah, exactly. So you go down like 90, 100 points in a hard point, and then your plans
Yeah,
kind of
make
go out
something happen.
yeah, your plans go out the fucking window. You got to do some hero shit, and then when people start doing hero shit, everyone knows what happens then. So it happens. I mean, it wasn't a terrible loss, like you said. You won a couple maps versus the Guerrillas. I think a big thing too is like your other series looked pretty damn clean too. So as long as your scrims are looking good, you have like, you guys were in a good fucking spot going into the major.
Or
So,
London, dude.
Yeah.
Poor London.
At the end of the day,
that was brutal.
I just feel like the way anything works, or the way I view it, this might not be right, but you're not going to win everything you play. Of course, you're going to do the absolute best. If you go into a match 110% prepared, like you weren't slacking off, you felt like you prepared enough to win it, and you lose, it's really not the end of the world. As long as that's it's not a constant thing where you're just obviously not finishing top 3 in the group stages. It's all about like preparation and just getting better like day by day. So if they showed up to that match and I knew like before that match started that it was like, hey, like these guys have been slacking off and acting like idiots, it would have been a whole different like mindset like after. But like, sometimes you're gonna lose, like that happens, and losses are really good if you react to it the right way. So
Yeah.
I mean, it happens, man, and that's gonna happen to every single team. It happened to the best of the teams last year, and so on and so forth. So
My favorite part about you losing was that I tweeted afterwards. LA Guerrillas are winning Major 2, and Faze has to make a change. And there were 10 to 20 responses that took it early.
seriously,
And I
bro.
worry about humanity.
You should see some of the stuff I get when we don't win. It's just
That's every pro.
Yeah, like overreaction much? Like, dude, what? Like,
Are you surprised by this? I mean, this isn't
No,
everything.
I was gonna
I
say,
mean,
even around
this
I
isn't
know, I
life,
know.
brother.
It's
I
really
guess it
dumb.
was
Life.
one of those where like I don't
Like I don't
seemed
expect
impossible
I
for
don't
me
expect
to-
a lot from social media, but there's sometimes where I'm like, what is happening right now? just to reference that point a little bit. Hard point record for Faze is 15-5. Search and Destroy is 14-4. Control is 11-3. I think everything's going, everything's going to be okay for the time being. But again, we're going into the major. Everything, a team could come out hot for sure. You are starting off with the bye again. It went well for you guys in Major 1. You guys are just trying to replicate what you did before. Teams are going to, spend more time focusing your guys' gameplay, focusing, weak points or potential weak points in vetoes. You guys probably don't really have one. And I think the scariest thing about Faze is, Joe, I think you've talked about this a couple times. It's like, Faze is a hard team to beat if you play a best of 9, right? And also,
if they get to the final, they win.
Yeah, exactly.
In my mind,
That
like,
pool
that's
is just
it.
deeper, just based on the stats.
It's way too deep. I mean, it's
said that in the
compared
flank
to
chat,
others,
somebody that was biased.
compared to other teams. I mean, you just see it is so obvious how bad some teams are on maps. And I mean, when they get put on maps, they don't have a lot of reps on. It's just insane. Like,
are you saying some teams, or are you saying like, because like I feel like some of the better teams right now have a decent map pool. Like I would say deeper. And like I don't know. You don't agree with that?
I think our
feel like
point
that's
is if
kinda
someone
gas.
played you on your third best search, I think you guys would fucking shit stomp them.
I think most people have 2 good maps in like a search with a half decent third, and some are still struggling to find that third. I think you have probably 3 to 4 great search maps. Control, most teams are at like 2, and that's fine. Hardpoint, I'm kind of in the same page. If there is a huge tier difference on some hardpoint teams, so where people don't get a certain map, you can see them struggle. Like it's just
Well,
the way it is.
I know what teams. I know some teams that you're talking about. Like I can see where you're coming from, but with some others, I feel like for the most part, like the top 3 or 4 teams are pretty well rounded.
Yeah.
But I mean,
All right. I mean, let's just take one. Like Dallas is really struggling in search right now. I mean, they have a 5-2 record on Checkmate, and a 3-1 in Miami. Outside of that, they are 2-4, 8. They're 2-10 outside of 2 maps.
no. But see, I don't know the statistics.
Right.
Those statistics. So I guess
You look at Chicago, they're 4-2 on Checkmate search. They're 3-1 on another search. Outside of that, they are 1-6. Not many other teams have a map, and you know that you're going to know this. Your coaching staff's going to know this. You're going to veto one of those, and then when you play the best 9, you're going to veto one of those, because if you come from the winners bracket, you have that advantage again, and they have to play 3, maybe 4 search maps against you. Good luck.
Good luck.
It's really hard. Like, speaking from example too, like when I coached Optic and BO4, we had 2 really good search maps. One's gonna get vetoed. Okay, lit. Our 3rd and 4th best, we just like, it was literally a coin flip, and that's like we tried to spend so much time. There's like mic feedback. I don't know whose mic it is. You guys hear that too?
Somebody
feedback?
said there was an audio issue. I hear it, but
I don't hear anything.
somebody
I
said it
don't
was me. I heard it for a second.
I think
but
it's I think it's Crowder's mic.
Wait, is it me now?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I have no idea.
Well, it was doing it when we were first talking, but no one else said anything, so I thought it was like my headphones.
Yeah, for some reason I just heard it when I was talking right there. Anyway,
Wait,
it's
I have
not,
an idea.
it's not that big of a deal.
No, it's good
I
now.
don't hear
It's
anything.
fixed.
But yeah,
Okay.
it can be hard speaking from experience to get like a 3rd or 4th map like up to the elite like standard, I guess. Yeah, it seems. I think it's better, Cruddy. I don't hear it
Yeah,
anymore.
I fixed it.
Good
I
shit,
fixed it.
Chris.
cool.
You're a beast, dude.
Love it. So it's like that's what teams need to do, but it takes time. And like if you're practiced for S&D, like it can look good in practice, and then you show up to the match, and sort of the same situations can pop up again. It's not an easy task by any means, and you don't really get that many reps in like these group plays on maps that you might be trying to target anymore, because you don't want to like go crazy with your map picks in a league match, because the seeding's so goddamn important, right? So it's just like those 3rd or 4th tier maps for you, it's just like hopefully practice is good enough. It could be a tough thing to do.
Well, it's tough to. There's just a lot of intangibles, and can I take us on a little tangent here, actually, because that made me think of something.
Yeah.
Like Cap's tweet. So, well, I heard on like Flank. What were they talking about? I think Parasite was talking about Venom and how he's sort of getting fucked by the system there, and how hard it is for players, and yada yada yada. And then I saw Cap tweet like, basically this whole blur of the lines with roles, and like anyone could really do anything if they wanted to. And I don't know, I find the whole thing interesting, because I guess I kind of always thought that COD pros are really impressive to me versus a lot of other esports, because you have a new title every year. Sometimes you're flying, sometimes you're not. God knows what mode we're going to play. It's pretty crazy compared to, I don't know, being a CS pro and playing the same maps for 40 fucking years. Like it's just a lot different. Not to shit talk CS, I fucking love CS, but it's a lot different. So I guess I think a COD pro has to be super, super versatile, right? Like you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to play different titles. You need to be able to play different positions, fill different roles. And I don't know, I guess I thought Parasite creating an excuse for players. Like if you get a shot, you need to come in and perform. Like if the spot sucks and the situation sucks, I mean, it's tough, but I guess that's what kind of defines like a really good COD pro for me. Like the ability to adapt over, like who stood out over the last like 10 years? People have been good every year, somehow title just shine. I don't even know if I'm really making a good point here, but like
you
I just
asking
found
us something? Yeah.
I don't really know. I guess I want to like open that whole convo for debate, like with Cap's tweets.
I didn't see the tweets, but so what you're telling me is that like the excuse for him right now is that he's coming to a tough system.
Well, that was Parasite talking about like Venom and some of the rookies coming up. But
It's
what
like
did,
based on
what
the
Cap tweet that
roster
started
change,
it?
right? And a lot of people are questioning why you would have someone like Kenny be the main AR. And so I think
Oh,
that's where the
that's where we're
top. I
going.
think that's where the topic kind of like stemmed from, about the whole argument
Huh.
about different roles and things like that.
You want to
And-
read his tweet?
Yeah, read it. Go ahead.
He said the narratives that still exist about COD are hilarious and pretty outdated. COD has evolved in a similar way to basketball. It's basically positionless, and you need to be able to adapt and play any situation with any gun. And
Keep going. sorry.
I think he's right and wrong. Like there still are
I'm
roles,
gonna.
but they blurred quite a bit in the sense of it is a little objective by committee, and you
So-
need to be able to do different things. And year to year, you might have to change. That's what you're talking about. You talking about a specific map, or like you talking about COD as a whole? Because you're talking about as a whole, I kind of see what you're saying.
No, so I agree with him, but I don't think it's said clearly enough. So if you see Akes' response there it was just on the screen, of like if a varsities, if a BZ and RCs switched roles, would they be just as impactful?
Give it enough time, 100%. I think.
I agree
enough time,
and I
yeah.
disagree because
I disagree
I
with
don't
that.
think
I disagree with
Alec would be as crazy as. Sorry, I'm gonna use gamer tags. I don't think Arcides would be as crazy as a BZ in the sense of the sub role of. I don't think there's anyone in the world, for the most part. There's a few
I mean, like gameplay
that could do what a BZ does in the sense of how he gets first bloods. Like that is like something that I don't think you can replicate. I think personally, it's so like I'm gonna get to the point here, I promise. But like with that is like, I think Tyler could run a main AR better. I think a BZ can run a main AR. Simp can run a main AR better than some of the worst main ARs in the league for sure. Like without a doubt. I think it's a little bit easier to slow down than it is to speed up. I think Arcides can easily use a sub, give him time. Arcides would be one of the better subs in the league. I really do believe that.
Really well.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He has the talent, and like I would take Arcides with a sub in his hands with some time to like adapt to it than like one of the lesser subs in the league, for sure, in my opinion. So like I agree to it, but it's not like I don't think you can just say just because like, like
I'm not
some
saying
of the
you
best
do it
ARs in the
tomorrow.
world could just do what a BZ does. Like I think there's levels to that too. I think it's easier to speed up. I mean, easier to slow down than it is to speed up.
Yeah,
Like
agree with-
I think like Simp playing a main AR role. I say it to Chris all the time. I think if Simp played the main AR role, if he was just an AR, I think he would post a 1.4
okay.
every event he played at.
Maybe
Like, I
he
think
should
he's
word it.
nasty.
Could he be a BZ? Exactly, no. But
Yeah.
could Arceus be an elite sub with time?
Yes.
Yes, without
I
fucking
agree.
question.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so.
it-
I agree to a point, but it's not
maybe it
like you
wasn't
can't
worded
just be like
well.
you're not just gonna be a BZ with a sub just because you use
Well,
it.
Yeah.
and like
if you're a
what level? I
talented
guess
AR.
what level are we talking about? Are we talking like a
Yeah,
CDL
exactly.
pro level? I think
Yeah,
probably majority of the pros could flex their roles and still be pro level
Yeah,
quality. But what
But that's why
separate?
they're pros.
Okay,
Like,
but
elite
my
at it,
my
maybe.
problem with the point is like, I don't think like I guess we'll keep using the RCs and a BZ example. I don't think RCs would be an all-time elite sub player if he was a sub guy, and I think a BZ might be.
I do. I guess.
See, wait. So okay, an all-time
Alex
elite
special,
sub player.
I don't
See, but that's the difference though. What you said is an all-time elite sub player. I think he would be in the upper bracket of subs.
See,
I really
yeah,
do.
it's like I agree with that.
I don't know.
You
the
see
thing
how
is,
it
Not
did-
like,
top 3 all time, maybe, but like I think he'd
I
be
guess
elite sub.
so. That's why the conversation's weird to me. Like, why even bring it up then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I would like for example, I would take Arcides with a sub over a lesser sub in the game. Like
I also think
would do that.
I also just think we're talking about Atlanta Faze here. I think as you go down and
Yeah.
you talk
I don't
about
want to.
these
I'm not.
different
I'm only
stereotypes, I
using
think
my
this is a lot
players
different.
because I'm only using my
Yeah.
players because that's my players.
I think it's a lot different. Like if we're talking about I don't know, I'll just pick up who's another main AR. Give me Assault or a BZ. Like I don't think that happens. I just don't. I think we're talking about
If
Alex.
you go 1-to-1
here.
at their level, maybe. Yeah.
I just don't.
That would be the comparison, right? Like, like
I don't
at-
think Assault could get to the best level as.
no, but could he
BZ.
get to what he is as an AR? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean-
With enough time, why not?
I personally, I don't. I think what we're talking about is a very specific situation here, with those players who are good enough and talented enough at Call of Duty. So I personally think not. The way I took that tweet
More in
was
the middle,
more.
I think. It's.
I
blurred.
think that tweet was more along the system is what Parasite is talking about, in which that there are going to, I think it's like in pro sports, there might be a player in one system on a team that is averaging 3 points, and then goes to another system and is averaging 15.
Oh well,
and,
that's
like-
definitely a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely like
Mhm.
because he's talking about Venom at this point, right?
That's what Parasite was talking about. It was two different combos,
Yeah.
but they kind of were
Oh,
tied
okay.
together a little bit. Yeah.
Well-
So Parasite was talking about Venom, and then Cap tweeted that. But like, I felt like there was some synergy with like the overall point of how versatile you need to be as a COD pro. So I was trying to bring them together and did a shitty job.
I just don't think
But-
so. I think maybe there's 10 to 15 that could do that. I just don't think. I don't think yet. No, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
What do you? So you don't think what that like?
I don't think that they could. There's that like. I don't think
Assault is
Assault
a middle of the pack AR. You don't think he could be a middle of the pack sub with enough time?
in this league. No, absolutely not.
But
I don't know.
so
I mean,
what
we
I
haven't
said,
seen
though,
some
are you
Friday.
saying?
I
Are
guess
you
I think
saying
you
though?
do.
It's because I think it's easier to slow down than it is to speed up, though. Like I personally
I
think
agree with
becoming
that.
an
I
AR
agree
is
with
much becoming an AR is much easier than becoming a sub.
Well, we're
I
doing a
agree.
really specific thing here. I think there's a middle
You brought
ground
it
more-
up, mate.
I know, no. I mean,
Specific with it.
I mean that comparison of like to a BZ, like I think is the wild part. But I think Cap didn't word it very well. But I think his point was just it's a little bit more blurred now. You need to be able to do more than a very specific role, like maybe 10 years ago, and people don't understand like how
And I guess to
much
like
close things come together and how much more you
to
need to do
clarify
on the map,
Cap's
I guess.
tweet too. I guess a lot of his point was like Kenny's been using an AR,
An AR. He's gonna use an AR.
so
Yeah.
him using an AR isn't like really changing that much.
No,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, but like
yeah.
we're breaking the most insane, like a main AR all the way to like cracked entry sub,
Wait.
where it is
Yeah.
his combo's a little bit
Dramatically
in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are we going to the point though? Is this like a? So is Cap tweeting this in doubt? Not saying Cap is doubting, but people are doubting the fact
People
that
are doubting
can use
Kenny
a
with an
main
AR.
Yeah.
Which
See,
is
all right,
hysterical
that's
to me.
something. But no, but that's something where I've coached. Like I've coached Kenny. Like I'm familiar with
Yeah.
his gameplay. Like Kenny can easily run a main AR because first of all, he's like what Cap was saying is like, yeah, just because you're a flex player and he's been using an AR, yeah, for a little bit here and there with certain systems, depending on how your system's formed, on how you play as a team. Like some main ARs go to a little bit more main AR kind of spots here and there. You know, like you do see, you know, probably people on the floating tank more because like that's more of just like their spot. But like, yeah, like Kenny running a main AR, like that shouldn't even be a question in my opinion. Like if he's been using an AR all year, like that shouldn't be a question. Like that he should easily be able to do that. Like I
Right.
think he can do that just well. So to Cap's point, like I see where he's coming from with that. Like, I don't see that's that big of a deal. Like people are freaking out about that, which I didn't know. That's crazy. Like
Well,
because
That's
if,
what I wanna
for
be more
example,
focused on than
like
somehow we have to
Celium
fucking
with my
be
team,
easy.
Celium can easily run a main AR.
The conversation is
Like-
a lot different when you compare a flexy type player to a main
Yeah.
AR.
If
When
we're
you,
doing
when,
that,
when you
yeah.
go from entry sub to main AR or
I know, we
AR
picked
player,
the goddamn extreme there,
yeah,
which
exactly.
there probably are some cases where it worked, but not all of them.
But then,
Yeah,
just like I guess my final words on the topic is like I just don't think it's. I wouldn't call COD positionless. I don't think that's fair. It really does depend on the game. This game is what 2-2 right now, right? So it's like those are your two positions. It's kind of bland,
Yeah.
but like other COD games like BO4, you consider it what 3 position, right? it depends on the meta.
And it's more like the NBA. It's like it's got more to like small ball. Then you
Yeah.
have
Well,
like
okay, so this is what this is what he's talking about.
Kinda like-
See, when we played Black Ops 2, I was a main AR. I spawned up. I anchored.
Yeah.
Right. That's just what I did. You spawned up. You ran to the hill, or you got a
Yeah.
cut.
doesn't make
Nowadays,
this
an
anymore.
AR, a sub spawns up. What is
Yep.
next? Where do I go? That is what
Exactly.
they're. That
Yeah.
is
Who's
what
up
we're
next?
talking
Who's up
about.
there?
Like that's
It's
that.
projected
Yeah.
by committee, yes, and that
Yeah.
we all
Everyone's
know
gotta
that.
rotate when
Like,
you gotta rotate.
that's all he's trying to say, but I feel like people
Yeah.
took it more extreme, maybe.
Yeah.
People also have this
I don't
like
know,
okay.
idea that main ARs are always funny against main ARs.
That's not
like,
true. Good main
Yeah,
ARs,
no,
good
that's
main
no.
ARs that put up good stats are the best at killing
I
subs.
challenge you to a duel.
Yeah.
Like what? Like no. Like,
I'll
it's
meet
not
you on the
happening.
right side of the map.
No, the best the best main ARs are the best at killing sub players.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that they have to truly worry
Mismatched
about. Are the
gunfights.
people that are sliding up and
Yeah, for
like
sure.
up into the position.
And then one more thing that I want to say on that topic too. There's particular players on a team that you want earlier rotated than others. I'll be the one to say it. So we have plenty of players in
absolutely.
this league that don't know how to play their lives that well, and like there's certain times where you want a specific player on your team early rotated more than others. So like
That'd be a good envoy.
I wouldn't call that a position, but that's like a role. Like Do you want Envoy rotated earlier, or do you want someone else on that team rotated earlier? Who do you think is going to play their life better in a 1v1 on a rotation on a hard point? You're probably picking Envoy majority of the time. Someone that's not going to ego chow,
But-
know what, like play a little bit rattier at times. Like some players don't play a ratty play style. So it's just like, it's just so situational.
But to use Cap's argument against what you just said, like, there's going to be times like using Envoy just because Envoy is really good at it. At least I think so. I personally like the way he plays. Like, Envoy is very good at rotating plays life, getting those kills and staying alive and finessing it, right? But like, what if Envoy spawns up at, you know, just not in the situation and someone else on the team's got to do it? Cap's point is you have to be able to do that. And if you can't, that's an issue. Like, the same thing for our team, like, too. Like, if, for example, Celium just couldn't rotate, like, he was just terrible at playing his life, that's not like an excuse anymore. Like, you got to learn when you rotate. Period. So, like, if you're relying on one guy to do something at the level, at this league of how good every single team is,
you're not wrong, but like a good system puts players in those positions that should be there more often.
Yes.
But
when you're playing the finals against the best team in the world, and,
I feel you.
You know, hypothetically, Celium spawns up and he's not your guy, he's got to do it.
Create the system for that 4v4 and into control. How do you practice for that?
I mean,
like, there's just so many things you can't prep that happen.
I get your point.
Some stuff you can, but like, there's a lot. I think I saw Accuracy tweet me. He's like, you just can't prepare for that. How the fuck do you prepare for that?
Yeah.
That was wild. But like, you can't practice that, or like.
You guys get my point, though, right?
No, I know what you mean. I know. I definitely know what you mean. But yeah, at the same time, it's just like those super, super close moments, man, between the best of the best in the world. Like, you know, Envoy might not spawn up there and someone else has to go. Like, you know, this guy, like, if BZ rotates a lot, he might. Like,
it's usually someone's turn to do the right shit. I get it, right?
Yeah. So
you got to be able to do it all.
There's two sides to it. There's like, you have to find the medium of like both of those. Of course, you want to set up your Envoys of the world to rotate more because they're so goddamn good at it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna need, you know, someone's got
to step up and do that.
Yeah,
shit.
like Arcades might spawn up and be like, oh shit, I gotta go. And there he goes with his AR down the map. So it depends.
Interesting topic though. I mean,
yeah,
it's
a cool topic.
It just really depends on the meta. It depends on the maps.
Map, the hill. I mean, we're going situation by situation. You're hoping someone like Envoy, even if he's not put in that position, is like, hey, whoever spawns up next, please hit it. Like, you're hoping
the next
like,
person. Yeah.
Like, it's silly as that is. Like, he knows he can kind of be that guy at times, and he might not always call it, but you want him calling that because he's like, hey, Stumpy died. Like, hit it, please, because I'm not going to be able to.
Well, I guess the other part of this then was like the Parasite and Venom thing. He was kind of talking about how he's getting fucked by their system, and I was kind of thinking about it and like, yeah, it's got to suck coming into that, and maybe he's not playing spots or role, or it's not exactly what he's used to. But I guess I just feel like if you're going,
this is just going to Thieves. Are we starting this?
No.
I mean, if you guys want,
I'm more of a like broader sense. Like, if you're coming in, like you need to sort of prove like you can kind of do it all and fill whatever gap. And I
mean,
I don't know how to word this. Like, I don't know what the best thing for him to do is, like, be selfless and get cooked, or like try to find a way to fucking look good and fry. But then,
I mean, I can answer that for you. So what you just said, you kind of answered your own question. It's, you're the new kid on the block, right? This is like your dream. Yeah, I'm sure he's dreamed of being a CDL pro. That's all he's wanted to do. He's worked so hard. He's finally here. He gets to it. Now, if he goes completely selfish and rogue and doesn't care about anything the coach and the team's doing and just, you know, looks good, like, dude, coaching staffs nowadays are very, like, it's very easy to see. Like, if I see a player doing really good, but every time I watch him and I'm like, well, he's just doing nothing right, I don't want him on the team. So, like, he can't just show up and just kill whore and be like, hey, there we go. We're good to go. Like, he's the right pickup. And at the same time, like, I mean, I don't think he entered, to give him now, to back him up a little bit, it's like, I don't think he entered a team right now that's like, well, that was a one roster change away from making it work. Like, I think they're kind of all over the place trying to figure themselves out. So, like, he's not playing maps that are simple right now. Just plain and simple. Like, he's not playing maps that are simple for him.
Right,
So
I word this differently.
Here's the thing, though. It's like, this is on the people above him to recognize that, and they obviously have recognized that, and that's it.
That's what you assume, right? Is now you assume that the people That's the whole
Or
point of having a coaching
maybe
staff
he's
and
producing
management.
in scrims, or we have no idea. There's so many things we don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many data points that we have no idea about.
Yeah, that's the whole thing of investing into
Also, a
management
reason
and
why he
coaching,
was
which is
picked
super
up. I'm
important.
sure they were watching him, and they had an eye out on them. Like they've obviously seen him perform at a high level. I mean, we heard he was next up. Like when we saw him get picked up, we're like, oh yeah, he was on that West R team that was winning everything. So that makes a lot of sense.
Do you think like I don't
No,
know?
I
Like,
don't think someone is going to spawn in and kill Horde to look good on the
no,
team.
no, no,
No,
no,
I
no,
do
no.
not.
More like even if it's like a tough system, like if he is going to be a future superstar, he wouldn't come in and have the worst KD in the league, regardless.
I mean, we don't
You
know
put
that.
Simp on any
mean-
fucking team last year, he's not. He doesn't
So,
have a point.
okay, but now you're comparing him. Do you think
Okay,
he's
you're
more
right.
simp? That's
Yeah,
now
okay.
you're
that was too much. But
Dramatic.
my point, to dial it back
Yeah.
a little bit though, like I guess I feel
We
like if you
also
think
didn't
he's
pick him
going
up to be a superstar. Like we didn't. We already have stars on the team. Like what do we get into? We're in a whole different conversation now.
I guess I want to know how much you can blame it on the system and how much is he's struggling. I don't know.
Didn't pick up an entry sub to be a superstar. I got Kenny and Slasher on my team.
They haven't really tried either though.
Okay, and that's not Venom's problem.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, kind of when he has the worst KD in the league, it doesn't look good.
Let's move on to other teams, and we'll talk about the roster change for Thieves. Does that work? Or do you
I'm
wanna
just trying to figure out what's going on.
let's zoom by some of the teams and stuff, and then because I know a lot of people want to hear the LA Thieves thing. So
All right. Well, we stayed on this topic for way too long. Thank you, Clint.
You're welcome.
thanks, Maven.
Well, back to the teams over here.
Mhm.
Let's break down. So we talked Faze. We'll move on from Faze, right? Let's
Mhm.
go Subliners. So you can see the record right there, 4-1. They got a 3-1 versus LAG, 3-1 versus London, 3-1 versus Toronto. I don't think those were particularly. I guess I'll just say it. I don't think those were hard matches for them. I think those are matches that they should have handled, pretty comfortably. Close in some situations, but they handled business. Simple as that. They got a really good seed going into the major. Moving on for Toronto too, they're able to lock down a 3 seed at 2 and 3. I guess that's kind of expected too when you look at the rest of the group. Were you guys surprised at Ultra getting a 3rd seed here for Group A?
I just think it's funny how if we go back to the start of stage 2, how different these groups probably look.
Yes.
Like a redraft, just because kind of how like Group B finished, kind of like what you said, like how New York, like they kind of handled these teams, like we expected that. And it's like, like we did, but that was just too clean for Atlanta Faze and the Subliners. I think in this league we expected them to be challenged a little bit more. But for Toronto, they beat Guerrillas, they beat London, and then they lost to Subliners. But the big match was them beating London 3-0.
Yeah.
For Ultra. And I mean, I guess the only thing that's kind of interesting about this is they had to have a pretty solid week, and they did that, and they beat Guerrillas in a game 5. So that I think that was key for them. It's just I don't know what Ultra we're getting. It just seems so different when certain players are playing at a really high level. I just feel like when Cammy is really on, they're a really good team, but when he's not, it just feels like something goes wrong. And they still have these moments like in the Subliner series where they're just throwing games away, which is exactly what we saw with Zinni. Like I don't think you look at inside stats, like he had that crazy like debut match.
Yeah.
After that, he's been around a main AR sort of stats wise, which is around like what we've seen for the most part in the league, like a 1 to a 1.05. There really hasn't been anything like crazy from him. Since then, he's really just balanced out like the rest of the team kind of.
Yeah, Parasite was he's MVP. Fried every series. I was like, no, he didn't. He fried the first series, and he's been like even. Like
he's been around
he's
even.
He's been solid. Yeah, but that's what you need him to do. But like he was saying
That's
he's
the same thing
MVP
as Jim was
stage
doing.
2. I was like,
it's the same thing to me. I don't know if their roster change was necessarily like just needed because we're still seeing the same problems elsewhere. Where they're having those same mistakes. They're throwing games away in those moments. There's something that's happening within that team, either comms wise or someone not performing or doing what they need to do, and it's hurting them big time.
Yeah. I guess the major will be a good scenario to see. I mean, I called it right away. Just linear move, right? I don't know how a move like that was really going to bring them to that next level. Maybe they'll prove me wrong for the major, but like from the matches that we've seen so far, he came out, honeymoon stage, whatever. Guy fries, looks great, sick, right? But like since then, I don't know. It's been sort of the same. But they get a good seed. They should be in a pretty good spot going into the major. But I guess we'll move on to London now. Not great matches here for the second part of the group stage, huh? 1-3 to NYSL. That's kind of expected. 0-3, 0-3. So tough games, right? But like you'd like to see them, I don't know, have I guess a better showing in those two other matchups, maybe. I mean, I guess probably not versus Faze, but the other one.
I think for me, it's that you go up 2-0 and then you look at the Ultra series. I know Paul has been really good for them and he had a bad series. I mean, they went -1. They went around -45 and got 3-0'd. Like they got smoked in 3 maps. I don't know what happened in that series, as well as sort of, I think Nameless was kind of talking about like just the vetoes. It seems like the vetoes went a little bit sideways for London. It's tough because I think in London, this was an opportunity for them to turn their year around. And I still think them going 2-3 and looking better with Paul is good. But to start off 2-0 and then not make winners, not just finding that one match, that kind of sucks. That slows momentum down big time with them.
They're getting better, but so are a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
It's like who's improving more
Quicker, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been awesome to see. It's been so fun to cast and watch it. Like, feels like everyone's gotten better other than Thieves, basically, for the most part. Is there anyone I'm missing? Like, well, of the teams that were not doing well, I guess. You can say some maybe digressed a little bit at the top, but
yeah, I think everyone.
For the most part, people at the bottom got better.
Yeah, I think people are getting better on the bottom side for sure.
We'll see what Guerrillas like won. Did they win like their last 2 matches? Like snuck into winners at the end of last stage too, though.
Are they just not
They didn't
getting
look like
0?
this,
What's
though.
going on, bro?
I
Was Zero, yeah.
Is Zero
I have no
chalked?
idea. I miss him. I love him.
Yeah, same.
That is, I don't know.
That could
He's
be
a handsome man.
and just like kind of knowing him as a player, like Zero is a person that will bring them the structure that they probably need. I'm not saying the players on the team aren't doing that, but I just feel like Zero has got to be someone that would help, right? If he's chalked, then like, I don't know. And then you look at like, I don't know, I guess we'll bring up Dylan again. Like he hasn't looked good.
Supposedly he can't get a visa approved until September.
Till September, he's chalked.
I couldn't. Dude, the Dylan thing just baffled me.
The Dylan one's wild to me too.
That was fucking nasty at Black Ops 4. How
Like-
often do you have someone's like a superstar, megastar in a title, and then just okay? Like, not even like okay, like kind of. I mean, last year he had his moments, and I think I saw a rated tweet like he's playing pretty well. You guys are, freaking out about nothing, but he hasn't gotten close to what was going on in Black Ops 4. It's a very different title. You could finesse way more and do crazy shit. I know, but
Yeah, I guess like superstar wise, that usually we haven't had like many who have hit that sort of level and then at least not hit it again.
well,
I
it
mean,
reminds
he
me of,
hasn't
like,
really gotten close.
it reminds me of like NFL receivers. Like sometimes they come in and have like the rookie year, they like pop off, but like you don't know till like year 3 if they're legit. Like it's just whatever it is, they come in, they fucking are disgusting, like the elite receivers out of college, and then they just like fall off year 2. And
It's like how
I don't know.
like,
I don't know why that happens exactly.
I don't know. They bring in Paul, right? And like he's been doing well enough, right? I know he had a bad showing, but like that's been a positive move for them, right? How at what point do you just are you like, bro, it's on him now.
Well,
It's been pretty bad.
Is it the system or is it
Yeah,
Dylan?
yeah, right. That's why I
Well, it's
brought
been
up the
2
other
years
roster.
now,
That's why I
right?
brought up the other
Yeah.
roster change. You know,
Yeah.
you've seen other people, and then I guess you talk about I guess the Parasite one. When Parasite played for London, Parasite did okay. I wouldn't say they did like great or anything. Like the team still struggled, but like individually, Parasite did pretty well. Would you guys say, right? I don't know.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
It wasn't anything like crazy.
I guess my point is like it wasn't abysmal. So I don't know. At what point, like let's say they come into this major, it's another dud of a showing. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, with how much they've invested in kind of Dylan. I mean, Dylan's really who they've built around these last couple of years. That's just a fact. That's sort of been one of their key stakes of the roster. But yeah, I think when you talk about how important subs are, especially in this game,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, games like that just can't happen.
The
They
main
can't happen.
talking point for most of our CDL teams is the sub duos.
I mean, they're lost in Ultra.
Subs are
They're
really important.
minus 25, and they got 3-0'd. They got smoked by Faze. Dylan was minus 33 in a 3-0 versus Faze.
Smoked. I guess.
I mean, and I know it's against Faze, but
yeah.
Dylan. The way we talk about Dylan, or the way the org is at least thinking about Dylan, is that he should be able to go up against a BZ and Sim, should he not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your
Yeah,
guy.
look at it like that. Yeah.
That's your guy. That's why I look at it. Like Shotzi and Hoot need to go up against a BZ and Sim. They have to match that level, or at least try to. So yeah, he can't be doing that. That's not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
I don't know. I guess I'll gonna wait to see these major games, but if you just can't sit here and drop 0.7s over and over again in this league. I don't know. Whether it's the system or it's you, I don't know. It's been kind of a while at this point. We've seen multiple examples.
Well, it's just what we always talk. There's too much talent elsewhere right now. There's just too much talent.
And not only talent, cheaper talent, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's
if
a big
you-
thing.
if you're just
probably
thinking
tough for them too,
logistically.
because they not only do they have Trey over there, they also have Afro, right?
Yeah.
Like Afro's supposed to be their next guy up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he can't get over here either. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know what you do. I have no idea.
Dude, London's just in
Like
a
I don't know
tough
what you
situation,
do.
dude. Yeah.
It's so tough. They don't.
I
have
think
two
they're
of their
trying to make
key
do right now
pieces.
with just a really rough situation, to be honest.
Yeah, they are.
They have people in
Because
the
it's hard.
pipeline
It's
they
hard to
can't
make.
use.
It's hard to make any. It's hard to make any changes without like, using the people that they want to use.
Yeah.
Like, they keep getting forced to make like other stuff work right now.
Chad, do you guys know what Afro like plays? What role he plays? I haven't watched much of the.
All of them.
Chad, I don't know.
I don't definitely know.
Well, and Alex. I mean, yeah, we forgot about that as well. He runs a sub. Okay,
Sub?
Afro's a sub. I say probably would love to have that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's really
that
important.
sounds great. Oh
Man,
man,
that-
they're just in a tough spot, man.
That
Mhm.
fits the bill.
Boy, yeah, they're just. I don't know what you do if you're in London.
Brutal.
I'm not sure they know what they do. They're just trying to. I mean, I was really happy that they had like a 2-0 week, and it felt like they were starting to turn around. And maybe just need a little bit more time with Paul. And that's it.
Sure. Still fairly recent. Guerrillas. They obviously they go ahead.
Think about what was we talked 2 weeks ago, and what did I say? I was like, if you still have faith in that whole, you could rekindle the World War II magic. You get to a point where you out prep teams and you start to click. If you believe in that, you don't make a change. I guess they did. And I know it's an off day for Faze. I know Thieves stink, but it sort of seems like it's starting to get there. Silly is playing absurd. Their search looks good. I don't know. That's all it's been for me. You made that team for one reason. 3 of them won a world championship together. We're back to boots and 4v4. You thought you could do it again. It feels like they're getting close. I don't think they're winning champs, but I think they're getting closer to what they thought they could do. Yes, versus.
I need to see
we saw
them
at the beginning of the
win against one of the elite teams. I need to see that. If they come into this major and
Oh, I said be Faze. I mean, that was pretty elite.
okay, in a
Just
major
where you said that.
in a major format. I should have started with that.
Yeah.
If they come out to the major and they like somehow, I don't know, let's say they match up against FaZe again and they get stomped, then it's just like, okay, like
Yeah, I would be shocked if they get bodied.
yeah,
But
I wouldn't be either.
they do. I don't know, man. Silly, like we were watching, I said we were casting, like the game looks so easy for him. And I know it was Thieves were God knows what the fuck they were doing, but it just looks so easy. He was in the right spots, not missing a bullet. His pacing seemed on. I don't know if he's like started to get this game figured out or if it's just a hot week. Because he's had that in the past. He's had stretches. I think I mentioned the thing with Zero, and it probably made no sense to any viewers, but I remember like back in IW, dude, every time he played that Splice team, he literally dropped 50. It was a thing.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Zero, he's like, dude, Silly just shits on me every time we play. I don't know why it was a thing, but he would just body them. That matchup would come in, he would body him.
Like Silly in Black Ops 4 too. You guys remember?
He started the year really hot.
He started the year
Yeah.
like the first half of the year.
Yeah.
He was like I would consider him probably elite in the first half of Black Ops 4.
He was Envy's best player in the beginning of the game.
He was.
I know that sounds like crazy because they had Hoop,
Hoop,
but
yeah.
he was playing really well.
Guy was nuts.
No.
But yeah, if he
I think a
keeps
big
this
thing
form,
for them is him keeping it up.
yeah.
I think, I mean, I said it even when they beat us. Like every team in this league is really good. They have the potential to be really, really good. I think Vivid has been the absolute rock for that team. Like I feel like he doesn't get enough credit at all for how good he's been playing and how good
Not
he's
doing
been
it
for
all,
them.
man.
And like but I think a lot of this team, yeah, if Silly can play at the level he hits when he's really frying, that's when that's what you really need with them, and that's like the big thing for him. So it's like I feel like a lot of pressure goes on him for that, but he's been doing well again. So we just have to wait and see.
Vivid do the dirty work. Silly realized he could just fucking beam. I don't know, but something
If
seems to be
They got
this was week
potential.
1 for me and they start 2-0, it's different. But they started off 0-3, and
Yeah, so there's still a lot of question marks there.
Yeah.
then they play Florida
they did.
Mutineers, and if Awake and Skies go dad mode, they lose. So
Well, that'll always be the question. Like, if teams play at their best, do they have the talent to hang? Obviously, but if they get a wider map pool later in the year and can beat people in vetoes, maybe it'll be a different combo later. But it's tough to see it now, I guess, because they had a very specific recipe to win back then.
yeah, I mean, we'll just see if in 2 weeks we're just talking about maybe them going on a decent run and they're getting better, or if they got beaten losers round 1 and it's time to blow it up.
Yeah, it could absolutely be either or.
I mean, they're 2 wins, right? They very solid win versus Faze. Thumbs up for that one. And then they beat Thieves at arguably Thieves' lowest point of the year. So,
Definitely.
argue it. Yeah.
how much weight do you put into it? We're gonna find out the major again.
But they 3-0'd Thieves, right?
Yes, like
Yeah.
That was
they
a clean.
just,
It was
you
a
know,
clean. It was a
smoked 'em.
clean 3-0. So
Smoked
that's a big thing. So yeah, that at least it was clean for that. So
just don't know how much weight to put into
I was
that.
trolling most of the series because they were just shitting on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
so we'll
and
see.
let's also be clear here though. Like we talked about map pool. They have a horrible control map pool.
Yeah.
If they do not get raid, it is not good for them. And every team is going to veto raid versus them. The Thieves played it because Thieves is probably just this is what Temp does. They have 1 win on checkmate. They are 1-8 on checkmate in Garrison. That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, were you
They're
talking about
3-1
Thieves?
like
With
No.
Weak Pool or-
Guerrillas.
or-
Guerrillas.
Okay, so
Guerrillas.
but Guerrillas, what was it again that was like their thing back then? They had like the St. Marie one event, they had another Hardpoint, another
They
event,
had
but
St.
then
Marino's Gibraltar at
and then
champs.
their search was good.
And their
That was
search,
it, right?
no,
And
they
good
were
search
terrible at
and-
search for a very long time.
I would've-
They
So-
were the worst. EG was the worst search team in the
Yeah,
league.
they lost
were
like 8 in a
on
row,
0
I know,
15.
but-
It was like 15 in a row. It was
the
really
2
bad.
events,
And then they clicked and got way better from that moment.
Yeah.
But they
was it the
started
search,
off really
though?
bad at
What was
search
their
for a little bit.
secondary thing with like the one really good Hardpoint? That's what I can't remember.
They had
There
St.
was
Marie. It was
St.
St. Marie
Hardpoint.
Hardpoint. They
Remember
were
that.
lights out. They got second. People started vetoing on them, and then they got really good at Gibraltar for champs. And that's
Yeah, but
why
that's
they,
one map out of 5. Like, what was the other thing that they really did well at, or was
It
just
was
like
only
kind of
4.
bad?
I thought they just got better at search because that was like a big
Sure,
thing for
that's
them.
what,
They
that's what I
lost,
figured.
Yeah.
no, it was they lost a bunch of round 11. Remember, they lost a bunch of game 5s. I'm pretty sure. Like they just couldn't
Yeah.
win search to save their lives. So like, but then they were really good at St. Marie, and then they were really good at Gibraltar, and like everyone vetoed St. Marie at champs against them, and they were just all right. We'll play
mean,
Gibraltar
just-
the rest map. So
It's
They're
the
really good
same
at that.
combo, and still they put together a month. They just haven't. We've seen them put together a couple of days. They beat Thieves at Major 1, and people are like, "Oh, they looked better." And then they got double bopped.
Yeah.
And they started off 0-3, and everyone's like, "Well, everyone else is making changes. What the hell are these guys doing?" And they went 2-0. And I'm about like, I get it. They look good, and Vivid's been a beast all year, and Silly, and it has been. I know he had a superstar week, but like, it just wouldn't surprise me if lost round. Like, they're still starting on losers round 1. That's not where you want to start.
100%.
Literally starting on losers round 1.
But I've kind of become a believer that one hot weekend is becoming a possibility. I guess I am. I don't know.
well,
Yeah.
they've been tweeting that their practice has been going well. And I'm pretty sure I saw Assault tweet a couple times, like, like I love that, like what's actually happening in practice is going on. So we'll just have that. There's no more to talk about. Wait and see. You can't.
I don't know why
there's nothing else to
I don't
talk
know why
about.
I'm a believer now, but I am. I love Silly. All right,
I
leave
mean,
me
he's,
alone.
yeah, he's been
Yeah,
frying.
it's gotta wait and see. That's really all you can do with
He
them.
keeps
Yeah, I
that
saw
forward,
his
and they can
wife's
smoke some of these
tweet.
guys.
I saw his wife's tweet mid-series and almost choked. Cast. What I said something like, "Silly is huge," and she said, when Maven said Silly is huge, I felt that. I read it like mid-cast. I was like,
You're on Twitter, mid-cast.
Yeah, what the-
no,
you
I
just scroll the
I
timeline?
have I have Tyler, our stat DM, on the side, but I guess I checked Twitter between matches and left it up, and I just saw like Maven out of the corner of my eye. I was like, oh,
That's hilarious.
yeah. She-
Okay,
she's
and then
funny.
let's move on. Well, let's talk Thieves now. We kind of brought it up a little bit earlier. Thieves looked horrible. Obviously we talked about the whole Venom situation, and Clint, I guess, was your point that you expected more out of Venom no matter what, or
I want to know how much. How do you figure out? Like, is it him or the system? I just
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
so you
I
think
guess
he
is what I
comes
was
in,
trying to
Venom
bring up.
comes in for temp, and you think he kind of underwhelming, right?
Well, I guess I
So-
wonder if he's that good.
Yeah.
You don't have a 0.8. I don't care how much you're struggling.
Yeah.
I could be very wrong. That's just what I was wondering.
I see
So-
what you mean.
So, anyways, they lose their 3 matches, right? They lose to the Guerrillas, they lose to Faze, and they lose to what was the other match?
Guerrillas. They lost it. Oh, I put
London?
Sorry.
London?
You see.
What was the other
Toronto?
match?
Oh, right.
I don't know.
I got the LAs mixed up. One second.
Oh, you're good.
They played Guerrillas, Atlanta, and London. Yeah, London. They lost
London?
to London.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So obviously they're in a bad spot, and then going into the major, we see something very, very unexpected. And let me pull up the tweet for you guys right here about what happened with Slasher. Boom. Our starting roster for the Stage 2 major will be Kenny, Tej, Venom, and Draza. Draza's been playing extremely well in challenges with multiple event wins under his belt this season. We're excited to see him play on the big stage this week as we give Slasher some time.
What does that last
off.
line mean?
Yeah, that was the
What does
weird
that
one for
mean?
me too. As we give Slasher
Does
some
anyone know
time
what that
off.
means?
So when they word it like that, when they include that, it's like Slasher's not having a good time. He's not in a great spot, so we're gonna let him regain. That's how it reads to me. I don't know. Did you guys get that same feeling, or do you think it's just
The way I didn't see that part. The way that reads
Yeah.
to me is Slashers like, listen, I can't do it anymore. We lost. I'm sick of it. Just bench me. So they did it.
yeah? You really like
That's
that?
what that's exactly how that reads to me.
Did anyone find his tweet from last year where he said like, if it's online still, I might step down? Did
Yeah,
he tweet something like that? Like,
I remember a clip like that. I don't. Was it him
something
that
was
said
like-
it?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like, if we have to keep dealing with this shit,
Yeah, he
I'm gonna
did. He
take a
did
break.
say it.
Yeah. So like, my first thought was maybe he just needs a fucking dude. If it's like getting to him, he hates this shit. Take a little break. Come back fucking next year when it gets back to land and shit on people. I don't know if you're miserable and it's getting toxic and you're not happy. What are you
Well,
doing? Like Chris
Kenny-
wasn't happy competing. It's different, but like you're not happy and having fun. How the fuck are you gonna be elite?
Well,
you hating what you're
Kenny
doing, you're not gonna
apparently
be
said on
elite.
stream last night that it was a team decision.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
apparently everything you're saying is wrong. I know that this is alleged.
Well, no.
in
I'm not
Twitch
saying
chat
he.
here,
I'm
but-
not saying he stepped down. I'm saying maybe it'll be good for him. I guess. What I'm
Oh
saying.
no!
Maybe-
Oh my
maybe
bad.
it's
I
like-
thought yeah. So apparently Kenny said that it was like a team decision that like
Gotcha.
they wanted to make the change. I guess I don't know.
Okay, and
I
then
didn't watch
what that
so I
says
don't
to
know.
me is we're just trying something new. I mean, we know Slasher. We know he can be very blunt. Sometimes tough to team with when you're trying to bring in a guy like Venom and try and switch things up. That can be difficult on him. To what we were talking about earlier, it's just a bad vibe. I mean, going into practice every day, just well, if someone's exploding, it's easy to do it when you're at the top. It's what we've talked about this
Yeah.
on the podcast often, but they haven't been. They haven't been for a couple years now. Some of these guys have been playing with him for a few years now, and TJ and Kenny, and they might just be done with it. Like, I just think about like your experience with Pat, right, TeeP? Like,
Yeah.
it's, sooner
a
or
lot.
later, it just beats people up, and it's just like, what, dude? Like, I just want to get on, and let's just play. Like, let's laugh a little bit, like, And I know it's like ridiculous as that sounds. That might be it. Like, we got to switch the vibe up. This is it. Like, yeah, supposedly Kenny, he has to bench or trade himself. And I know we kind of connect those two, but
I found it.
besides the 100 Thieves year, Kenny was on TK. Slasher was on Rise. Then 100 Thieves, they found some success, obviously, but last year there really wasn't much. And maybe that's what Kenny is just kind of saying, as I tried to bench myself because I just needed a little break. Like they had to figure something out. I wasn't working with this, and
Did you guys
that's what it was.
Did you guys see Dashy's tweet too?
What did Dashy tweet?
The little the sipping tea.
egg and the tea. Yeah.
Little
I don't know
sip
what
and
that.
What does
You
that
want me?
mean?
I found Slasher's tweet. Do you want me to read
Yeah,
it real quick? The one
yeah.
from last year.
Sure.
He said, barring a miracle, the league will more than likely be online next year. I have a lot to think about and more likely will take time off. I will not put myself through this anymore. We suffer because their central south servers can't work properly. So that was really targeted at something that might have been fixed. But
Right, Southwest
I got
servers
that
as well, right?
feeling.
So was he still in
Wait,
Cali?
what?
He's in
What?
Texas now.
He's in
Yes,
Texas
yes.
now, though.
So it is different, but like, I mean, he was just real fed up, I think, with online and everything. But maybe it's not that.
Yeah, but I mean, are we talking? Is this after the Optic year of last year? Of how
It was in
bad
the middle
Optic
of
was
it. It
last
was
year?
in the middle. It was in the
Optic,
middle of it last year. Yeah.
LA, the
I'm just saying,
before they
maybe
changed the
this will be
Huntsman
good for him, dude. Get a little time
Well, I
off.
was just gonna say
Yeah.
because I just it's also like an
Also
online
a
can be
bad
super.
time because lands are right around the corner, more than likely. But go ahead.
You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like, but also just being in Texas now, like half the league's online, like everyone kind of deals with it. Like it
Build
sucks, but
fucking
like,
robots to play for him.
but I don't know. I mean, I think there's just like what Joe was saying about the practice thing.
That's
I
not
don't-
intel, by the way, because people are gonna freak out. Sorry, let me clear that because chat's
Yeah.
already doing the chat thing. That's just me saying. Hopefully, my hope is that champs will be, and then right around the corner, maybe next year, like
Yeah,
that would be
hopefully.
great.
Yeah.
My point is that people are getting vaccinated, so hopefully that
Yeah,
can happen. That sounds awesome.
I thought that was self-explanatory.
Yeah,
but,
you told me that Slasher was like, hitting on Nate's girl too, and said a bunch of stuff.
but regardless, like I feel it's really hard to tell because I always hate like speculating, like because you never see like what happens in practice and you don't know what's actually going on and like what's who's being annoying, who's not. But there's a fine line of being the leader, hard ass, and wanting everyone to get better, but also at the same time not making sure everything is the end of the world. Like if you start off a scrim and you have like a bad couple maps, like that doesn't mean the whole day is chalk kind of thing. And that might have nothing to do with Slasher because it could maybe have been an entire team vibe. But speaking from experience as a player, if you get on and you lose 3 maps in a row and your other 14 maps that you scrim for the day are chalked because of those first 3, that's like that's a team vibe that can never happen. Like you have to avoid that at all costs. And
Been there.
maybe that's what this move
I'm
is.
sure he was
that,
toxic. I'm sure he was toxic.
but
Fuck,
like I'm
yeah.
sure as
He was
much as
tough the team with winning.
okay, but there's also the other side to that where it's like you can't also just all shut down. Like that's not just his fault.
Yeah,
But
true,
so
he's
that's,
the
that's
leader.
what I mean.
sorta.
But at the same time, that's like, but he also has a lot of pressure on that team to be the leader of the squad, right? Like that is literally what he's there to do. So I get it. But yeah, that vibe, that this move just screams that like they just weren't getting good practice and they need something
Yeah.
different. Because Slasher is an incredible player. So that had to be something where like within the team they just weren't getting along anymore. That's just what it has to be.
I could see
I
that.
don't know.
So I guess just talking about the move in general, though, I think the move is pretty obvious. Like they want more speed, right? I think that kind of goes along with Cap's tweet too, and that's the
Mhm.
reason why you make a move like this, right? You always talk about pacing, you talk about speed, you talk about this and that, and how you want your players to be able to fill any role at any given time. And maybe they had a team discussion and they just thought that whatever system that they were trying to run, and you got to think this system was probably. Slasher's a leader, right? He just has that personality. And if he doesn't think the game's being played in that sort of fashion, he's not going to be happy about it. So I think it's a pretty obvious move, like what direction they're trying to go. I think picking up someone like Draza, we saw Draza, with the roster change that went down last year, and we saw them on the OGLA lineup. And Draza played really well, right? At the
Do we know he's
hat.
playing flex?
I believe it's
Draza.
Draza. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
can I ask you a serious question, though, T, about this whole thing? Do you think there's a chance that Slasher gave up because then he'll set up replacing Formal and Optic this year?
Wait, what happened?
Because it worked out for Dashy.
What? Up.
You think Optic would switch Formal?
I'm
Yeah,
trolling.
he's joking. Yeah, no, I
It was
took
a
him
troll
serious at
question?
first too, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, I'm saying Dashy sort of quit on that team last year
No.
and got on Optic.
But to
saying
the
Slasher-
speed thing, to
yeah.
the speed thing in Slasher's defense, I don't think Slasher's a slow player at all. Like when I coached him, he wasn't a slow player in any means. Like I don't think.
Would you call Draza or Slasher a faster player?
I mean, I haven't seen Draza play enough.
I'm kind of assuming.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chad. Maybe you can help us out more with that conversation.
I mean, I haven't seen Draza play this game enough, but like, I don't know. I don't think it was a pacing thing. I don't even want that to be in the air, to be honest, because Slasher's way
It's
too
not
good.
pacing.
Yeah,
No.
they just didn't get along.
Chris
End of
was
story.
right.
That team,
Yes,
that
it
dude.
has to be.
People said it like when they would scrim Optic here and there, like there would be like 2 maps, and all of a sudden the Thieves aren't in the lobby anymore. Like it's just like
The reason I
those
brought it
days
up is like because of
can't
what Cap
happen.
said.
And
Like
no,
Cap,
I know what you mean.
you
I know
know?
what you mean, but the one speculation I'll make is like I don't think from teaming with Austin enough to like know he's not like a slow player. They just weren't getting good practice. No matter whose fault it is, at the end of the day, you can't play 2 maps and then not scrim for the rest of the
So
day.
you guys
'Cause
are
if you're
more.
doing that,
You guys are going
other
more
teams are
like
getting
the
better.
system that.
Yeah.
Like it's not a
They
pacing
weren't
thing.
having fun or
Yeah,
enjoying themselves.
yeah,
man.
Yeah, no, it had to be
It's not
something like
even
that.
Warzone. Like, dude, I'm playing with Joe and losing. It's fine. I'm buying Huskers back all day. I'm off.
We're playing with you and losing, and it's fine.
Yeah, we're having fun
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking some people, no, not so much.
So do we think
I don't know.
this?
I mean,
You gotta enjoy yourselves, man.
Do we think this change is going to benefit them? They're they don't really have. I mean, they have practice to go off of going into the major, right? But it's just scrims. They don't really have actual league matches to see if this is something that's going to work out. Do you expect?
It's kind of what I talked about, like with who was it that I said? Oh, I thought like with Paris, man, because I thought Paris should have switched things out like last week or the 2 weeks and give a new roster shot. To me, this is just sort of we got to give something a chance. We might as well do it now, sooner rather
Yeah.
than later. You can't go
But
into stage 3 and just.
but
I mean, we're talking stage 3 now, right? It's getting a little
Mhm.
deep.
yeah,
And you're
it's definitely getting.
I'm thinking logistically too, like a late move like this. Let me bring up this bracket really quickly to see what the situation could be. So here's the bracket for the stage 2 major, right? You see Thieves down here. They play against Legion, and if they win that, they play against Ravens. Like winnable,
Both are winnable.
Both
Yeah.
are winnable. So they get like an environment change. They get a culture change, right? If they come out
They're winning.
and they have 2, winnable matches for sure, like
We saw what Optic at champs. They did it last year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they did
absolutely.
it. It was a little culture change. They
it's
brought
similar.
in Draza, and they just. I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same. They just need to get some practice in. I think we kind of talked about it, or like the start of the year where it was about. I don't remember exactly who it was, but the league is just so good. I think obviously there's your superstars, but the skill level is very minuscule. And where else is the difference then? It's in the system, it's in the practice, it's in the preparation, it's elsewhere. And if we're not getting even to the 4th map of Hardpoints, how are we getting better? We're
Yeah.
just not. Like these guys have enough talent. Like there's no doubt about that.
Right. My worry is like they play Paris right away. Paris is not bad. Not a bad
Not at
team.
all.
Yeah, they're a good
It's-
respawn
No
team.
one's bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like it's not like they're showing up and playing a team that like, they can get by without much practice and things like that. So I guess my point, what I'm trying to bring up is like, let's say they play against Paris, they get knocked out right away, right? Single elims right away. I wonder what their plan is, right? Is this just like a roster going into the major and then they're going to try and do something more dramatic? Are we thinking
You gotta
trade?
try a little bit more if it's one.
You have to
series.
try more.
Yeah.
But it's a risky try. You have to really believe in this.
Well, we don't
Yeah.
know if this is a risk or if this is just temporary already. Like they may
Yeah.
have
Well,
something
yeah,
else.
that's my
but
point.
tweet was still worded that Slasher is getting time off. So I don't
Like,
know.
I mean,
Does that mean he's coming back? I don't know. Like,
does that mean that
for
Slash-
example, though,
does that
Keep,
does
if they
that
get 3-2'd,
Mhm.
if they get 3-2'd by Paris right now, they lose 2-3. Sorry, they lose 2-3. They get better. Like you don't know without seeing their practice and like what's actually going on if they're making a map change, like steps forward. But honestly, right now with how much they've been struggling, if they were to win a few maps and make it through scrims, from what it sounds like, right? I think that's progress. So like, but is that enough progress where if you lose this major, are you going to commit to it? It's definitely a weird thing. Like, I don't know. Or maybe like Slasher gets some time off and they have a little bit of fun. They start to make progress, but they know Slasher's too good to be sitting on the bench and like they kind of compromise. Like, I have no idea. I feel like there's a lot that's about to happen. Unless they like go on a loser's run, I think that option of Slasher coming back is possible. But I don't know how bad it is behind the scenes. I don't really know.
Yeah, but
Like,
I have like I asked Eric how scrims are going. I
Mm-hmm.
have records. Scrims are going pretty well. I'm not going to put them out because it's just scrims, but
Yeah.
they're playing well. He says things have been going well. I mean, maybe it's based off that. Like, what else could it if things are going solid in scrims, you got to keep trying. Or
Give it a shot.
if a team comes to them with like a trade, I don't know if there's an equal or
Well, there's always that too.
I'm talking
always that.
trade. You have
Mhm.
Slasher sitting on the bench, bro. Speaking about
but
Slasher,
that's also one of the things.
how
like,
many
I don't know if I want
teams-
to give that.
yeah. So how many teams could Slasher improve in this league? Probably
Oh,
could.
yeah.
Probably,
Several.
yeah. Right.
I'm getting Nade shot tattooed on my ass if they win this event. Nade on one cheek, shot on the other. They win.
It's actually like
Yeah.
tough though, because like Faze, no, Dallas.
Where's the O go?
You could go into a whole theory,
I
but
get
Grim's been playing really well. Mutineers, you have Skies and Awakening. He's probably not getting traded. Well, not yet. Paul there.
Not
Guerrillas,
for main
sure.
AR.
Well-
Not many spots.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he's an incredible
That's
AR
tough.
when he's.
I do as
when
well,
he's-
but it's not as easy as a 1-for-1 trade because there's really not many places.
Exactly, and you also have to worry about just making sure that the team gets along. You know, like, and
Yeah.
he's gonna like have the respect to like command people and say,
He's
like, oh,
always
you know,
there.
this- so
He's
it's
tricky. He's tricky there. Some.
well, because he has like the way he likes to play Call of Duty, which I actually tend to agree with. Like I like the way he likes to play is usually right. It's just like getting people to do it together on the same page is the hard part.
It's weird though, like when I've told you guys this before, but like he told me on like Hot Mic how he wanted to play with Cap again after he got rid of Cap because they saw it the same way. And I guess I kind of thought like with him coaching, like they'd see eye to eye, they'd get their system, it'd work. And
But Looney's in the chat, and he just said like a good point too, though.
Yep.
Like, okay, this is very hypothetical, but like, say Florida wants him, does it 100? Like, does LA Thieves want Skies? You know what I mean? Like, do they want Skies? Like,
I'd take fucking Skies. That kid's like
no,
22
I
or
know,
20.
but like, there's
21,
also another COD around. Like, I don't know. It's like, of course, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Skies is bad, but Skies is incredible. Like, Skies is actually a really good investment in the sense of that was a hypothetical.
If you
But I'm
think
just
about a
saying, like,
franchise like going forward, I'm taking.
yeah, but like it depends on like how much you put into the stock of that too. Like there's a bunch of stuff to that because Slasher also has a really big brand as well.
It's always
Like,
tough too because
Sure.
I got to bring it up, but I mean we just haven't been in land in 18 months or something like that. That's also it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
what-
that
that's
has
literally
to be
another
in the
thing that's
back
sitting
of
there,
people's
yeah.
minds. It just has to. I mean, I miss it. We all players miss it. They
Yeah.
know there's players probably there are going to be players that are 100% overachieving right now. Even though we have 60 hertz servers and better servers and
That's why them
this and that,
putting
there's
that-
still a difference.
That's why them
Like,
putting
there
it
is.
in the tweet, there's something to it. Why, or else you wouldn't put it there. Like, but what, Slasher, take a month off. You know, vaccines are coming out. You know,
No, it could be a thing. And
I don't
the thing
know.
is like LAN to me, I'm a huge believer of obviously if you're good online, you'd be good on LAN. Then like there could be overachievers. Like there's obviously the other side of that. But the one thing I'll say with LAN is like even if you're doing really well online and you go to LAN, it might take you a little bit to get adjusted to start doing, both. Like that's where like I can see like someone like Slasher doesn't adjust to that. So when the world goes back to LAN, not if you're LA Thieves and you give them away, it's like that could be a huge mistake. Like I don't know. It's weird because I don't think the online thing is an excuse, to be very honest, because we're all doing it. Every team's doing it, and most of the league right now is in Texas too. But there is a huge adjustment to playing on that stage where it's not like, oh, you have better internet than the other person. It's just some people adjust to being on the stage a little better than others. So like, I don't know. It's weird because giving him away this early with potentially lands, making their way back one day, who knows, dude? I don't know.
There's not even that many people I'm worried about, man. Honestly.
I see. That's my thing. I don't think there is either for me because I'm a big believer of that. But I do think that some of the players that have never played on LAN, they might go to their first LAN or two and not play as good. I don't think they're going to drop a 0.5.
but they
I
could do
also
worse.
think-
Yeah.
I
They
think
could do
as
it
well,
slightly worse,
though,
but then that will kind of go away, in my opinion, for the most part.
I think it's tough at times too for like a vet like Slasher to just. I'm not saying it as an excuse, but how like
Oh, dude,
I used
what?
to be the
Yeah.
same way. You're thinking the same thing. Like, give me on land versus these guys, and maybe that improves their practice. What if they're landing? Like, what if everyone is in Dallas and we're they're getting land practice?
What did you say
that
yesterday, dude? I
that might change things. Like,
I looked
Oh,
at him.
100%.
Shows like I win one gunfight, I look across the stage, I know he's fucked.
It used to happen to me
No,
all the
that's
time.
definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm in the opening 1v1. I stand up and I look at a guy, and the guy's done. Like, it's
I
over.
love it.
no,
That's the way it used to be.
Because in Black Ops 4, we got an underrated amount of LAN practice. We did the boot camps. We did plenty of study. Like there was so much LAN practice, like before matches, during the league, like, and that is something where honestly, like looking back to, like looking hypotheticals, if that was an online league of Black Ops 4, that 100 Thieves team could have been much different. Because the most frustrated I was ever dealing with that team was
It's online practice.
scrims. Yeah, it was online shit. There'd be some days where I'd have to be like super annoying with that shit, just be like, shut the fuck up, you know, like.
We needed
So,
LAN
like,
practice. Our team on that, dude, we were so good online. And, like, I'm not saying we weren't good
Yeah.
on LAN, but, like, we were fucking jokes online in BO4
Yes, you
for
were.
sure. And I try
You
and
guys
get us
were
to play
nasty.
off host. And it's, you know, it's just like, dude, absolutely
Well,
insane. Like, LAN practice like that, like, it could be a similar situation for some teams, like scrimming, couldn't it be? Like,
100%. Why not a
having
guy
them-
like Slasher? Yeah, 100% it would be.
Yeah.
Like having them all in one building now, like does that change it a little bit? Like I know online still has its things, but like it's not like everyone's at their house, you're online talking through a mic. Like these guys are like at a facility playing next to each other, talking shit out. Like a lot of the teams are now. It's like I feel like it's a little it's not LAN, but it's not quite like online of 5 years ago.
Yeah, but
With,
there's
like,
always the
Alex
excuse. There's always
together.
the excuse that lingers when you're not playing the other team on the same connection. There's always the
always.
excuse that like
But Dallas versus Dallas is close.
that's why every once in a while, like when my team's practicing, it's just funny where like one of them will be doing bad and someone will be like, I don't know, man, I can't get a kill on this host, and the other three are like, what? You're sitting right next to me. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, shut up. And like stuff like that's funny, but like there's always that excuse though where like someone feels like it's just not a fair playing field.
It gets in your head,
And-
dude.
Yeah, and that messes with you a lot more than you think. So it's still not an excuse in my opinion with everyone else that has to deal with it kind of thing, but it's there.
all right. So Draza coming in, Slasher being benched, very, very unexpected. If you look at that lineup from top to bottom, I don't think a lot of people expected that to happen. I know I didn't. Very, very surprised. But you got to think it's going to create a different environment. We always talk about honeymoon phase. Like if scrims are going well, they're vibing. They come out.
Well,
they
I
have-
think kind of like what you said. I mean, looking at that bracket, if they can win those
Yeah,
first two,
momentum,
I don't know
bro.
who's going to drop to them. Like, but I mean, yeah,
If they
who
can win a
knows
match
what'll
right
happen?
now, it's good. To be honest, like just
Yeah, and every
because of how
single
much they're
day they
struggling,
stay
I'm not even
alive because
being mean
they're
saying
going to
that.
get more
Yeah.
practice. They're going to
Yeah.
get better. Like that's just
Yeah.
kind of what it is.
but still, it's not that much time to get scrims in with a totally different. I mean, not totally different, but a different lineup. And like, I mean, Venom hasn't been there for that long either. He hasn't. I don't know. It's going to be a interesting situation. They have the talent. They come in and play Paris right away. Paris looks pretty damn good, man. Like it's going to be a tough first round matchup. It's going to be a lot based on momentum. Do I think Thieves are going to come out and win the tournament? Nah, not nearly enough time. I don't want to disrespect other teams and making a change like that. Like
I don't want Nate on my ass.
I think you kind of do, knowing you.
Yeah, weirdly you might.
I think he like kind of wants it. I think you tweet out at Nate every single time, just a picture of your ass.
We were very close when I lived in LA.
I don't want to know how close.
We saw and did some shit.
No, you didn't.
We actually had a lot of fun. I love that. Too bad it sucks.
I don't know what you're
Yeah,
cutting out.
You're like,
yeah, no one hears
Oh,
words
went
you're
too far.
saying right
Sorry. Hi. I said I love that guy. Too bad
Yeah,
his team sucks.
Dan brought it up. Looney brought it up. He said, playing a team
Yeah.
that has nothing to lose is annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what he's talking about.
now. Yeah, I
ain't
want to
gonna
event
lose
doing
now.
that.
He's right. That's just it. That's what I mean. Like they're just gonna, even if this team is 10 days old, they're just gonna get on. They're gonna shoot as straight as they can, and they're just gonna try and win. I mean, they're just gonna be like, we
Get
beat a team
cracked,
with
bro.
2 days practice.
Yeah.
Like that's really it.
Yeah, seriously.
Like that's really it.
Let's talk Group
This
B.
is it now. You make the game simple now.
Let's talk Group B.
Okay.
We have so much shit to still talk about.
I know we're already an hour and a
We got
half
time
in.
now.
We've been going
We
crazy.
That was a
talked
big
about-
chunk of it, though. That was a
I
big
know,
chunk.
we were talking about Røkkr, and they
Yeah,
we
that's
did a little
seriously.
bit. We did a little bit.
All right, Group B was the crazy one. Look at all these records. 32, 32, 2 to 3. Oh my God,
Holy
it's insane.
shit, TeeP.
It's insane. What?
I was just getting excited for you. MVP.
Thank you. Finally. Oh, you finally called me MVP. Thanks, dude. Røkkr, Chicago, Dallas, Seattle, Paris, Florida. Those are our seeds going into it. Obviously, tiebreakers going down, 3-2, 2-3, head-to-heads, all that type of stuff going down. So, a lot of, I guess, question marks when Røkkr made the move. Here they are, baby. Number 1 seed going into the major. They get the bye. Oh, my goodness. They, obviously, like,
What a turnaround.
like,
I mean, from
yeah,
0-2.
great turnaround. Some things had to happen in order for them to get the first seed, obviously, but they get the job done. Thoughts on Røkkr so far, seeing some of their matches. They get some, honestly, really some big wins, right? Standy comes in and looks like a god. You got to say it, right? And that's when you talk about like someone, I guess an SMG player like that can create an impact like that so quickly. Like when you, I guess, Clint, going back to what you said about Venom, right? Like it kind of drives that point up again.
I guess I feel like most people have come in as rookies recently that have stuck, have come in and fried. Like, I don't know, Mac, Awakening, Standy, Sim, Abizi.
Not more recently, though. Not in this title.
Well, we haven't. Who?
Fire, Paul.
Fire.
No, there's other
started
people
pretty
I'm
well once
missing.
he swapped, yeah. But well,
I know.
okay,
I would say this one not as much.
That stuck. I'm saying, like the people that are still there a year or two later,
Okay,
came in and fried. Will Fire be here next year? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. But that was kind of my point. Like people that are around 2, 3, 4 years later usually come in and shit on people or do well. Not always, but I feel like that's the majority.
I'm trying to think of like all the AMP players that came in last year and comparing.
well, the Guerrillas had about
debuts.
15, right? Like,
Yeah, seriously.
Neptune's been solid.
Well, Looney, I'm not saying just their first match, but just like, once they get into a rhythm, play a couple matches, like they're not usually getting smoked. Not typically, I don't think.
Yeah.
At least most of the rookies over the last like 3 years that have stayed on top team.
Well, no, I know what you mean. I still think Venom has a little bit more time until what Maven is saying becomes true. I would give him a little bit more, but I still think Venom came in at the hardest.
He did. Like everyone says he's incredible. It's just like I'm trying to like. It's hard for me. I
but
guess.
No,
not as
but no. If
you
this
guys,
goes
like,
on to
know
stage
what-
3, if this goes on stage 3 and like halfway through stage 3, it's still the same shit. I think there's definitely some talk about it because at the same time, you might not be bringing him in to be the next simp or like the craziest breakout player of all time, but like you still got to do good. So I
like-
get you, but I think he needs more time because right now I think his system right now is just completely.
Yeah, I'm not saying drop him at all.
Can't you say that about how Minnesota was though? They were getting smoked. Oh, 003.
But so the difference between those two, man, is Minnesota was getting smoked. No, but Minnesota was getting smoked, and Minnesota, I can speak to this like just personally. That was not a team that was getting smoked and had bad vibes. They were there and just wasn't getting along, not finishing scrims, not.
They also had the priest to change as well.
Yeah, they showed up.
Good point.
Good
point.
the
And they've
priest changed
also-
for sure.
I'll just be. I mean,
Hey,
it's not
pack
like
a
they've
punch priest, I
improved.
like
It's not
that.
like they've gone like crazy.
Good
You know,
point.
they won the 1-3-0, but they've still had issues in Hardpoint.
They're not. They didn't completely just make a complete flip yet. Like they still have plenty to work on. I'm assuming they probably know that too. But like, Standy did not come into a team that what it seems like with the 100 Thieves when you see them scrim Optic and then all of a sudden 2 maps later they're not there. Like all those situations that we were just talking about. This team on Minnesota was never like that. They were losing and they're like, guys, we why are we losing? Like we're so close. We just had these little mistakes. And then they got someone that, just changed up what they needed, in their opinion. And Priesta changed to the flex, and he played really well. Like, I don't think Standy went into a team that was like 2 maps in. Imagine Venom, shows up 3 maps in, and then the scrim's over. He's like, what's going on? Like, what the fuck just happened? Is that what we do in the pro world? Like, it's just not the same. So I still don't think that's comparable. I think with the pressure that Venom would see is just this next halfway through next stage 3. We'll see.
I'm
'Cause
trying
at
to
that
get.
point, I think
I'm
it's
trying
time.
to gas up Standy a little bit.
I know.
Like,
No, well, first
you
of
know?
all, to give gas to Standy, yeah, he played incredible. That's what like they needed someone that was going to do exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He looks good, and I mean they're not, there's still weaknesses in everyone's gameplay, and I'm sure they're still working on it because they're so new, but they're good. Like he was what they wanted. They
And
played
also,
insane,
my
and
point
they
You
made
too-
a
guys didn't
great
hear
run.
Parasite talking about Venom, like how good he is playing against him, how smart. He was just gassing him so much. I'm like, I want to see this shit.
There's
I
been
want to see this shit.
there's been some players that have been. Yeah, I think Venom's good too. So I say this with thinking Venom's good from watching him play, but there's been some players that have been gassed that aren't always true.
Yeah,
So,
that's my
That's not
point.
always.
I've heard
Every
too many
roster,
people say he's really good.
every
Like,
No,
roster change isn't great. Like I don't know, someone can come in and not play up to standards. Maybe there's a lot of. All we can do is speculate, right? All we can do is comment on the finished product. Like I don't know, we don't have enough information to know. Oh well, this guy was frying in scrims this past week. He just had a bad match. It's like, does that matter to us? It doesn't matter to me. I'm not as involved as I used to be. So just like seeing the polished product, it's like if I see a certain amount of performances over a week or 2 or 3, and it's like at a certain point, you got to start pointing fingers, man. This shit's way too competitive, bro. These newer players coming in, young talent, fresh talent, cracked out of their mind, right? Like, I don't know. We're still seeing a lot of brain dead shit. I'm not trying to, finger point at anyone. I don't know some of these newer players enough. People need to be held accountable. And just because a roster change comes in, like Standy looks incredible. So
I still want him to be the scapegoat, but I also think he needs to perform better. I'm like, I don't know. I'd change my mind a lot.
Yeah,
it's just a weird situation. It's hard to know exactly.
It's a tough call too
situation's weird.
because we don't see
definitely
that
weird.
many matches, like league matches, right? There's not a super like a ton of them. It's sort of
Something shining. I got
it's sort of the same problem we had last year. We don't get to see all the scrims and stuff like that. So I don't know. You putting makeup on? You putting powder on?
Powder.
Oh,
What's up, shiny, dude?
dude, it's all over
But yeah,
your...
I mean, there's times. I mean, when Celium first came into the league, when we played with him for the first time, after the whole debacle of us not making it to the league, I'm pretty sure he played Optic and he was like 3-20 on Seaside, and everyone thought Celium sucked.
Yeah.
And like, you gave him a couple more matches.
That was like his first series.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, Celium sucks," and now we're sitting here. Celium definitely does not suck. So it's just you got to give players time to warm up too. Sometimes, like we'll see. I think like certain people are like. I think Celium had more standards to hold up to because of how good he really was. Like he proven to be online, but it's just we'll see.
How many
I think you
series has he
can't make a
done?
judgment to
3?
him until he has a system that actually makes sense. A couple weeks of actual practice.
We're all
and
too
then
nice.
we'll
I'm
see.
trying to be a dick.
I know.
Simple as that. Røkkr looks good. Standy's the fucking truth so far. Can they, they lock down the first seed. They get the first round bye.
No way he's 18 though. He's gonna get fucking dropped.
You think so? You think he's lying about his age?
Fucking 12.
He's
Yeah,
12 years old?
what's that?
Think he's
That one
12?
movie with the baseball player. He's like 30. Like shows that
I am 12. Bench warmers. I am 12. He hands me up like $10. I
I
am
fucking
12.
ass that kid's 18.
They
They
look
grade,
good,
bro.
dude. They look good.
Like I thought Attach looked young. That's Attach's kid.
All right, so pulling up the Attach's kid. That's funny. All right, look at where Røkkr is in the bracket. They get the first round bye over to round 2. They're going to play the winner of New York versus Empire. So the first match that they're going to play is going to be a really, really tough one. It's going to be a really good test for, honestly, whatever team makes it up towards them and the Røkkr as well. Like, you would think that Empire wins that round 1. They make it to Røkkr. And then you would think that a match like that will come down to S&Ds. So like thinking, we'll talk more about Empire coming up here in just a second. It's just like, I don't know. I think that bottom part of the bracket's going to be pretty crazy. Top side should be too, but, Faze looking pretty good. I don't know. I'm interested to see how some of these teams progress going into the major with these big matches coming up. So yeah, Røkkr looking really good. Great turnaround with Standy coming on in. Let's talk. Where are you going? What's wrong? Have you lost?
It's in my eye.
We saw you put it. Why are you doing that on the show? Why can't you ever sit here and do? I know you have your headset on. You're so annoying. I know he's doing his stupid laugh.
He gets bored.
It's been different since you joined in me.
That's funny. That's a good one. Okay, let's talk Chicago. Let's talk Chicago. So they kind of look like garbage for a second there, right? People were freaking out.
We didn't talk about that, right? That was the second week when they went 0-3, 0-3.
That was a big overreaction.
People were,
in my opinion.
I mean, it's just kind of how the community is, I guess. Like those players have such a following, right? And then something like that happens and people start going nuts. Like it was so annoying. Even in my stream, I turned my stream on after some of those matches. They're like, TeeP, come back and coach Optic. I was like, dude, like what? Like I thought that was just so disrespectful to everybody involved with that situation. And for how
Sender's job's got to be hard.
yeah,
dude,
right.
to deal with all that. Oh my gosh,
Dude, like I think Sender's doing a fine job. I think those players are all very talented and smart people. I think they had a flat week of gameplay, right? And then, whoa, what do you know? They turn around, bang. They look pretty damn good. And that match that they had versus Dallas, it was a banger matchup. And what do? What'd they do, Joe?
They won.
They won.
They won the match.
Yeah,
and game 5, they
and
probably
it was like
should have won all the maps.
It was like an intense match, is what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean it really was. I mean, kind of like you said, you can have off weeks. It can definitely happen. Yeah, the freakouts, that was annoying to deal with because I get the same thing. I'm pretty sure they just want to hear you. I think they just want to hear you say scump, like some ASMR stuff. I figured that out today in chat. Like, I think they just want to hear the name. They like
Seth.
yeah, like kind of like that. I think they record it maybe and then like
Yo,
I don't know.
what's going on?
But anyways,
A match was
You know?
lit.
You think people are into that? They gotta get paid for that? Like ASMR for Scumpy?
That's what I'm
gonna text
that's what
Seth.
I figured out.
I'll go
That's what I
50-50
figured
with
out.
him.
But I think it was. I mean, that was a must win for me for them just to sort of get their mindset right for the major. And I know that the whole tiebreaker thing could have got a little weird. Or well, no, it couldn't at that point. So I think with that sort of pressure off, they needed it. But you're still seeing some mistakes. There's still some openings, but they're winning searches. Although Empire's search has been dog meat, that's why they hired you. And
What am I gonna do? I just planted
Mute
bombs
that,
my whole
dude.
career.
that's a good point. That's a real good point about that, Clint. Good one.
I could teach them a nice post plant, but is someone gonna ego chow? Probably. You know. You know.
It was a good series.
I got good
Chicago.
setups. Will they fucking do it though? I don't know.
Good point.
I don't know. Yeah, that overreaction to them losing was crazy.
First
Like I
time
know that's just how they are because of how much support they have, and that's just always going to be how it kind of goes when they're not winning every single thing they do. But yeah, I don't know. I was like,
I would be very.
I was never worried for them. I don't know.
I am a little worried map pool wise. I think they've been a great control team, but obviously teams are getting better at like checkmate where they set the standard for a little bit. Like we just saw Empire beat them. But I am a little worried Hardpoint like map pool wise, just a little bit because I just don't like them playing raid. And here's why. I just think that raid is a very fundamental map. It is a map where if you have a bad start, you can get down 100, 150 points very quickly. And then things are kind of out of control. And if that ends up being their map pick, that's kind of where I get a little sketch because I don't know who's going to play them on Moscow or on checkmate. At this point, I'm not playing them on checkmate. They're 5-0. So what's been their next go-to? It has been raid. And I'm not saying they're a bad raid team. They're obviously a very good raid team.
But you'd rather play them on that.
My concern is just that like I'm okay playing them on that.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool.
I mean,
with that.
it's a pick your poison, and like you definitely. I'm looking at the records
play them
now.
on-
Yeah, 100%.
I play them on raid. So we'll see what happens because outside of that, what they're 1-0 on Apocalypse. The other one, like Garrison's their go-to map veto, and Moscow's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Moscow and Raid are kind of the same thing. It's a lot of fundamentals. I just don't like the fact that they're not a good Garrison team because I think that team should be a good Garrison team.
You would think so.
I think that team should be a very good Garrison team, and I do not like that they have an auto veto and hardpoint. Kind of like how Atlanta Faze is for search for me. I don't believe that they should have an auto veto and hardpoint. I think they should be good at every
agree with
single
that.
one, and
Wait, we
it
don't have an auto
concerns
veto?
me.
We don't have an auto
No, I
veto, we
meant
just-
search. Sorry,
oh.
comparing to like your search. I think
Oh.
that is a comparable take.
Joe, how much do you think we talked about this briefly in our series, but like I just wonder if this is gonna be like formal in World War, where he'd be like, okay, then he was God. Like it just I don't know. It just clicked for him midway through the year and he was the best AR in the game maybe at the end.
But I don't think
I
he
don't
needs
know.
to be. The only thing he's been
Well,
kind
it'll
of like
help-
lackadaisical in is in
everything.
search.
God.
But it's not like
Does he need to be like that level with this team?
I don't think he has to
No.
be. Yeah, he doesn't need to be. They just make some
Beat Faze?
mistakes. We watched them play Faze earlier in the year, and what was it? It was an BZ3 because that was a difference maker between them winning 3-1
Well, I
and
think
them losing
Faze
game 5.
got a lot better since then, and I don't know.
I'm not
that Optic
disagreeing,
has
but I'm just
separations
saying the
more, but-
talent is obviously
Yeah.
there. We haven't seen them
Clear.
rematch.
Yeah, you're right.
But-
I'm looking through these stats too. They like the map pool is so lopsided. So I mean, they're smart people, right? You got to think they gotta be spending a
You
lot
gotta
of
have some up
extra
the
time,
sleeve.
right? And I don't know if it's based on it might be based on like particular matchups, and like that's what going over a lot of this stuff too. But yeah, just looking at the stats, it's like very evident where their comfort level is at, and everything else is just right. It's wishy-washy after that for sure.
Checkmate has been more common, just because people don't want to play some raid, people don't want to play some Moscow. So checkmate's popped up a lot more. I just don't think teams play them on that,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna, unless they don't veto Garrison. So in my mind, it's probably Apocalypse. It has to kind of be their go-to hard point in this major, unless they pick raid, depending on the matchup. And then search-wise, it's kind of like we said. It's just what is their number 3 going to be? And they looked good in the search versus Empire, but Empire has not looked good in search.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's it because they're going to play Checkmate or Moscow.
That's what gets them to like championship material. And then you think about best of
I'm
9
talking about them
too.
winning.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Like in a best of 9, when you just straight up look at their map stats, it's not good. Looking at a best of 9,
No, they have a couple.
they have a couple really good ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of worrisome, but like
control,
also
they're
they
a
look
great
good,
control
so.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's more. It's like their third hard point and their third S&D. What's like which one is going to make it to the elite level for them to win a chip straight up? So yeah, Chicago looking good. Obviously, they have all the talent in the world. A lot of people looking, towards them to make a run in this tournament too. Let's talk Dallas now. You brought up the S&D woes. It's obviously been like the main focus for them to also get them back to potentially winning a championship, right? Like it's hard to knock Dallas so much, and they do come in and they don't get the first seed, but like I think it's kind of good for them, I think
They kind of did this last time.
Yeah.
They just got out of the groups in winners, and then they ended up in a final. So
right. Let me pull up their stats for maps too while we're going through this, because just looking at the Optic ones, it's like super evident where the changes need to come from.
the great thing for them is their
hard points are
gotten
money.
better.
Their hard points are money. Just looking at the stats,
They get better at search. They can win a bit.
Yeah, their control is good enough. Like,
Mhm.
pretty like, 75% win rate. Or 66% win rate. That's solid. The S&Ds, the checkmates a go-to. Miami's a go-to.
How are they so bad? I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't understand how this four-man
it's weird.
team is so shit. Considering it can't just be maybe it's more the 5v5 to 4v4 and the difference there, but like it can't just be Clay being gone. Suddenly they can't play. Like, what is it?
So
I feel
what are their
horrible.
what are their good search maps? What did you say?
Checkmate is a go-to, and Miami, based on win rate.
And they just lost checkmate. The
Yeah.
problem with checkmate is that it's just so easy for
Checkmate's
everybody. Anybody can be a good checkmate team. Like that is a
Yeah.
very linear bomb
I like
site. Everybody's trying to do the same thing.
What was the plant
Miami, the
percentages
fact they're
on
good
check?
at Miami is good. Because they were so good at insertion in MW
Yeah.
because they had so many different looks and takes. At checkmate, there's one take, there's one look.
Yeah.
There's a few variations depending on trophies and this and that and intel, but it's
Do you
not
like
much
the cast
different.
more now? Because I feel like it leads to a lot of. The fuck is that? Is my
Get a sub?
Streamlabs
Yeah,
open? I just almost shit my pants. What the fuck
You
was
just
that?
got a sub. We saw that. Nice
Where
job.
did that come from?
Someone just subbed to Maven. Nice job, dude. You got a sub.
Oh, it's open on my.
Maybe
oh,
get 5 gifted.
I got a fucking heart attack. What the fuck was that, bro? Yo, but what the fuck were we talking about?
You just shit your pants.
Well, and I
It was
think one
so
good thing
loud.
for them
It was
is
so
like
fucking loud.
Shotzi's gotten better from stage 1 to stage 2.
I had a point to
Hook
make.
has been playing at like the same level he was in stage 1, and they're still getting wins. And it's like we're talking about them struggling, but we're also talking about this group B and how crazy it was, and they got out of it.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, did you start to like Checkmate a little bit more just because it leads to so many like 1v1s, like 2v2s? Like I don't like the
No.
map, but I like
Checkmate
the
sucks.
scenarios it leads to. It leads to
No.
these like intense 1v1s all the time. There are so
No.
many 1v1s, so many
But
clutches.
it's the
like
same thing every round.
I know, but like
I
don't
like
know. As a
watching
caster, I've
teams
started to
switch
like
it up. I think my favorite search maps probably might be Miami because you can actually throw different looks.
You can get
maybe a little
creative on the
raid.
map.
I like it a
Yeah.
lot too. Checkmate's not my favorite. I just hated it. Now I don't mind it.
I don't mind it. It's just
But dude,
there's
I think we're
no-
one good S&D map away from like a really good pool.
there's no like what is this team doing differently than what they did. And that's
Yeah.
my big thing is sort of I really like to see how teams call. Like what are their play calls and how are they adjusting type thing.
Thoughts on Express so far? Now we've seen, more maps played on it.
I like it.
I like it too.
You fucking
It's a lot of
Better-
re-
it's
I
better-
never
it's
loved
better than
it. It's a ton of
Garrison.
retakes, but yeah, it's better than
Yeah,
Garrison.
it's better than Garrison. That's like I don't
1,000
love it
times
compared
better,
to like but it's better than Garrison. I think we're one map away from replacing Checkmate to having like a really, really, really good pool, dude.
Yeah. Speaking
Or if
about,
they can somehow fix the A bomb on Checkmate.
yeah, true. Like move that around somewhere.
Somehow.
I don't know where they would put it. I'm trying to think. Anyways, just speaking about Dallas's map pool, I thought they'd be better at like a Moscow. I don't know.
A
Just like,
search?
yeah,
Well, I think they lost 3 to Faze.
Oh.
That is the
that
one thing with
skews-
their searches.
that skews the
They've
stats,
lost
okay.
they lost winners final and they lost the best of 9. They have like I don't know how many maps they have to Faze, but
got it. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Like that finals alone probably
might not
tacked
be
on.
deep, but
Yeah.
doesn't help them. Doesn't help their record like that. Good.
Yeah, chat. Standoff will be lit. I think that's what we all want. for
Meltdown,
sure.
dude. What Joe said the
Meltdown,
one day, man.
dude,
Meltdown,
Meltdown.
dude.
I don't think
So
standoff
good.
works with control. Doesn't work with
Bro,
control.
First
Meltdown
map,
control.
It's at a
Meltdown
diagonal,
first,
right?
dude.
I don't know
Yeah.
how you do a diagonal control. I have no idea.
Give me Meltdown
got
first and
box
give me Meltdown
twisted.
control,
Yeah.
please.
Dude,
Oh, that'd
Meltdown
be so fun.
would be so sick.
What a good map.
Okay, so yeah, same sort of issues for Empire. I think we just that's the one switch up. I'm sure they're spending so much time watching VODs and going over stuff. Like you would think at a certain point it will start to click for them. I'm gonna watch, I guess, a little bit more intently. I'm gonna watch back some of their S&Ds to pinpoint what I guess they're doing wrong. Because I watch, but I don't like watch super intently, I guess, like I used to. So I'm gonna pay more attention this time around to see if I can figure out certain ways or make my own opinion on what they're consistently struggling with. Because I just don't feel like a team like that should have.
They are 0-8 against
it-
Røkkr and
yeah.
Faze in search. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. But even like,
So you take that, and obviously we expect them to at least go like 50% with those teams. But you take that out of account, and they're 10-5.
yeah,
A little different.
little different, but I don't know. The loss is still, I don't know. It's like
I know what you mean. 100%.
they're losing against good people. But I mean, that's just what it takes. If like Dallas, it should be a championship contender every single time. And I'm not saying they aren't right now. I definitely think they are, but it's just like, what's the next step? So I guess we'll wait and see. Let's talk a little bit about the Surge. 4-seed, Surge, 4-seed. Okay. Bracket, where'd you go? There's the bracket.
Wait. Can I ask one last question about Empire?
Yeah.
Because I forgot I wanted to earlier. How weird was that listening show? When they were like, it seemed like no one knew what the fuck was going on. It was so weird. The one on Checkmate Hardpoint, where it was just like they didn't know where anyone was or what they were doing. It was really weird. I'd have to listen to it again, but I remember at the end, you were just like, what the fuck?
Well, they were down like 100 already.
I
at that
know, but
point.
like
I think they just
the
kind
comms
of
were
freaked
like,
out.
weird. Surprised me. I
Well,
guess.
it's not. It was the hill pressure thing that Krim said, and then like
A lot
they
of
missed
questions.
like 3 call outs.
Yeah.
There should always be a call out and a name, so you have track of who's where. I hate when I don't hear names. You need to say names.
Yeah.
'Cause
Names
if
are
your friend
super
gets a
important.
kill, if you say like there's 2 there and then you get 2 kills and it's not the name you said, there's a 3rd there.
But you don't know that. Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yep.
Nah, when you don't hear that, that's a tale of
That's a good
you should
challenge.
probably start doing that.
Joe's talking all about the good cams. Bracket time. Surge, where are you? Look at that. Little loser bracket bye, baby. Round 2. They're going to play the winner of the Guerrillas versus Florida Mutineers. So talking about their matches in group play. They 3-0'd Paris. They lost to Optic. And They lost a close one versus the Røkkr. But overall
Lost
thoughts
to
on
Dallas in a round 11.
the. Oh, it says Minnesota on here.
Oh no! Oh, earlier. That
Oh,
was
earlier,
week 1.
yeah.
I think we talked about it,
Got
but
it. I thought I fucked up for a second. I was just looking at the.
I mean, they're 1 round away from this being a 4-way tie.
Dude, imagine. That'd been crazy. Yeah, like little situations could completely switch this entire group around, especially if we're talking specifically about search. They look better. Yeah, they look a lot better. Let me bring up their map stats real quick. Any overall thoughts on search from the matches from your guys' POV?
They,
I mean,
they just look better. No, I was just gonna say I think they finally, like, as of now, like, look like they're getting it down to the point where, like, you know, they have a plan. They will, like, they're executing like what they've talked about, like in practice from what it looks like. They've showed some really good signs of greatness. I don't know. This is the surge that I feel like we kind of knew we could see, and I think, personally speaking, I still think they have a lot of talent on this roster where if they keep up whatever they're doing to keep improving at the pace that they are, I think they're just going to keep getting better. Like, I don't think this is the best surge we can see. Like, now it's just it's the product of getting them to where they can be, would be like probably the tricky part with them, and I'm sure they even know that. But I think Pristini's been playing way better. I think he's a key to that team when he's playing well. I think he's a super impactful player when he's on. It's very hard to play against, and just in general. But I think if they can improve just a little bit more, I think this is the surge that I can easily beat like anybody in the league and be up there.
He's just got to stop playing raid control. What the hell?
You know why he's playing better
stats on it?
0-5.
0-5.
Why?
Yeah.
Maybe
He's better because he's always been like the scapegoat on the team. I feel like.
We're talking about Pristini?
Yeah. He's playing better because now Looney is. Because I mean, Looney like nades a teammate every map. He's killing teammates all the time. It's like Looney's the scapegoat now. So Pristini feels less pressure. Now he's just fucking Brian.
Oh, nice job, Dan. There you
Good
go,
job, Dan.
Dan, you said to be the
Dan.
scapegoat.
Yeah, Dan. Appreciate you, Dan.
No more scapegoat for Preston. He starts frying. Look at that, dude.
Dan's a true team player for that one.
Yep.
Good shit, bud.
Nice. Yo, Dan, stop fucking playing raid control. Jesus Christ. What?
Yeah, their offenses are horrible.
Just coin flip the other two maps at this point. 50-50 is better than 0.
Well, they probably want to play Garrison. So they play Garrison. They that's when Gunless runs the 3 subs.
Pick your
So, I mean,
poison.
they
Yeah,
just
flip, that's what I'm saying. Flip the coin on the other ones at this point. Shit.
Yeah, play checkmate.
Yeah, right. I know checkmate's ass, but I don't know.
Can't go on 5. Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm just joking with you, bro.
No, we're not. You're on 5.
It depends on the team, but like if you play
Flip it.
yeah, I don't know. I would. It depends on the matchup for sure. Like a weaker raid team, you run it back again if you're feeling confident on it. But
Just goes, bro.
choke 3 of the 5. It is what it is, bro.
805 though.
Yeah.
Don't matter. Stats don't lie, Dan. Stats
Okay.
don't lie.
Talking matchups. Bringing the bracket back up. Okay, so they play the winner of LAG and Florida. Winnable. I think any of those teams, whichever team comes out, I expect the Surge to beat whichever team makes it to them. Agree or disagree?
They need to.
Okay, I'm like expecting.
If they continue to play the way they've been,
they should, right?
I think so.
Okay, then
Yes.
they'll move on, and then they'll play whoever drops down from top side of winners or bottom side of winners. I think bottom. Joe, you're the bracket guy here.
Actually, the Guerrillas look really good too. I don't know, dude.
Sorry. Fuck off.
They should play the loser of the bottom team. Oh, there's the top side doesn't flip it as the
Top
next
side.
round?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll play if you win that one, then you'll play the loser of Faze and whoever makes it out of the round 1 matchup.
No. They
No,
would
Optic,
lose
Ultra.
the one before that. It's the one before. It's just hard. 'cause it doesn't-
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So the loser of Ultra in Chicago. Got it.
Yes.
That's where it gets a little bit crazy. Like let's say I'm expecting Ultra to lose against Optic Chicago, right? Then you have Seattle versus Toronto. That's a close one. I mean, we've talked a bunch about Seattle, right? And I feel like they've been making the improvements that we've wanted to see to give them more credit, to not, there's a moment in this league where we start saying like, this roster's not looking very good. Like, what are you guys gonna do? But they're finally looking. They're showing promise, and let's say that matchup ends up happening, which I think should, Seattle versus Toronto, if things play out how they should, if they, if teams make it there, right? That's a matchup where if the team's going to show more promise, those are the matches. Those middle of the road matchups where you start to, make gains over other teams. Yeah. I think, like, based on how Seattle has looked, I think they should probably beat like a Toronto if they do end up matching up in the major. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Agreed. And if they play Optic, I mean, their Optic matchup, they lost raid Hardpoint, which was really close if I remember. I'm pretty sure that was a very close match. The only one that, like, I think it was a round 5 control on raid, which no, round 4, or no, was it 5? It was a close match. So, like, could have been. Yeah, they lost SD checkmate 6-2.
Yeah.
Guerrillas will beat Surge.
Well, I was actually going to go back to that. With how Guerrillas is playing, I wouldn't write them off at all, like, if they keep what they're doing. So that's going to be a little bit tougher of a match than we just made it seem, to be honest. I think if Surge match up with the Guerrillas, if the Guerrillas are playing how they are and they get another match under their belt, that's not going to be what we just said. I think that'll be a closer match than we just thought.
I'll be the dickhead here. I think Surge has the better players, and it seems like their system is starting to come together now. And I think if Surge is going to be a good team that should keep their roster together, they should handle a team like Guerrillas fairly easily.
I personally,
they're playing the
think
Mutineers
Surge,
anyways. It's fine.
I think Surge has very, very, like, high upside. I agree with that, but I think if Guerrillas played the way they played against us,
right,
and the Thieves, if they get one more, if they were to, like, 3-1 in that match, that Guerrillas team is not, that would be a scary match if they were to win that 3-1, 3-0.
Yeah,
but if it's a close
sure.
one, then maybe not.
Mm-hmm. I feel you on that.
I know what you mean, though.
Dan, can I just ask, because we have you, Dan, did you guys just not want to play Moscow Search? Is that why? Do you guys not like Moscow? Because you played Checkmate, so I'm just curious. Well, they're 0-1 on Checkmate. They're 3-2 on, okay. Or 3-2 on Checkmate, 0-1 on Moscow. Got it. That was the only thing I was wondering, because they got beat like 6-2 pretty handily on Checkmate. Curious. But he might not be here. Yeah, for Search. Because, I mean, it's pick your poison with Optic. You're either playing them on Checkmate or on Moscow. I was just wondering. You guys seem like you'd be a good Moscow team, in my mind at least. Because you have you and Pristini just running. But just like Checkmate? All right.
He's Russian?
Yeah, he might be. He's not. Okay, that's all I had. He just said, yeah, I'll play. Got it.
Got it. Noted.
I think Guerrillas win both.
Last time we played Moscow, we didn't win a round, I think.
You think Guerrillas win both, Clint? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Are you being serious or trolling?
No, I'm being serious. I don't know why,
serious?
but
yeah, you think Guerrillas are like in form?
I think they actually have better. Yeah.
Maven's on the Gorilla train right now.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm probably being dumb.
But I see why. So yeah, that's why I kind of revisited that. It's just that the Gorillas actually do look really good if they get another 3-1. They're definitely a scary team.
I don't know. I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys, but sometimes you watch it. They made it look. It just looks so.
I'm gonna
easy,
put
dude.
some Maven knowledge here. I'm gonna give some sorry. So round 1, you got a Mutineer, which their little logo is a sea monster versus a gorilla, right?
They're seamen.
So I just watched Godzilla versus Kong. Kong got smoked. So Mutineers in 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mutineers 3-0. So your narrative stinks.
I like
Shit,
that.
I can't. How do I argue that?
Yeah, that's like
You
really
can't.
sound logic.
He can't swim. So
I think Guerrillas is spelled wrong.
I'm back.
doesn't matter. It's the Maven logic.
Joe, why'd you
Why are we
steal?
saying spoilers?
Like,
what I miss?
Joe, why'd you steal Clint's? He was gonna say that on the broadcast probably, and you just stole it from him. So
I probably was. He does that to me all the time now. I'll tell him something, he'll immediately tweet it. I'm like, okay, thanks, Clint.
People in the chat are typing spoilers right now.
What did I miss?
95% of you aren't gonna watch that shit anyway. And hasn't
what?
I'm glad
I
I
didn't
missed it.
spoil anything, dude. I just watched Godzilla dominate, bro. Just watch it. It's been up for a week. It's your own fault.
I mean, you kind of spoiled the one plot line.
That a gorilla can't swim? My bad.
I mean, 2 people fight. You said who won.
my money would be on Godzilla anyway.
If you we're talking about a boxing match show, and you said Floyd Mayweather won before someone watched it. Would you spoil that?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just not the same thing at all.
Exactly the same.
I don't like you. Paris. Stock
Back to the
Paris.
point.
Stock
Let's do it.
Paris. Okay. They so they're basically talking about the last couple weeks of matches. They got a nice win, a 3-1 win versus Florida. They lost to Surge. They lost to Dallas. So going into the major, they're obviously in the loser bracket round 1. They're playing against LA Thieves. So we talked a little bit about our thoughts like about that matchup. Like if Thieves, like, I don't know. I don't want to like discredit Paris, but I just feel like a informed Thieves you would think would beat Paris if you're talking like the talent of the
Wait.
players.
Can I do a spoiler joke? I do.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Faze wins the event. Who gives a fuck?
Should we just end it? Want me to end the
What?
episode now? Should I click stop streaming now? Is that what are you
They're gonna
over?
win.
Are you over?
Just keep going, dude.
No, they're gonna win. I'm saying they're gonna win.
Are
ignore
you?
this guy.
What are you eating?
Chipotle.
You don't want to talk about any of the other teams.
No, I do. I'm trolling. I'm hungry. I want to do a spoiler because he did a spoiler.
I'm DMing Tommy or something. We gotta replace Baldy.
Who again, dude?
Let's get Zoom on here or some shit, bro.
Zuma was
Dude,
not
let's
even
talk
on
about.
here.
All right, you want to hear what I think?
What?
What?
Thieves are winning.
Great.
Thieves are winning
Good
3-1.
stuff there. Yeah, good analysis.
Kenny at the
Stuff,
main
man.
AR is going to be.
How
one
do
of
you
those
still have a job?
talented People you've ever seen. Like he has just hit the. He's like liquid on the map, just fluid. Gonna be just not missing a bullet. Draza, I mean, he's been waiting for this moment. He's been sitting in challengers, just fucking doing God knows what. He's gonna come in and just shit on everyone. Like Fire is gonna be like he's gonna die. Draza's gonna be all over him.
Oh, Chat, you got the little flames coming up.
Thieves 3-1.
Hey, you see it?
No doubt about it.
Chat, I'm turning. Chat, give me 1 sec. I'm switching the flames off. You guys are spamming too much, bro. Hold on.
Are your viewers drunk, dude?
Yeah. There you go. Maven, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong in your head. You're so dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about
I play
Paris
Mason every
Paris
day.
versus LA round 1 loser bracket matchup. Joe, who's winning it? Paris have been looking okay. Thieves are off a roster change. If you had to bet $500 on who's winning that match, who are you picking?
I'm going Thieves.
Thieves! Crowder, what about you? Obviously, you're not betting. You're affiliated with the CDL. You'd never gamble on something like that. But in theory, for the sake of the show, if you had to bet $500 on who's going to win that matchup.
No betting for me, but I'd probably take Paris.
Paris.
I think Thieves have like just a lot to figure out probably, and I know they have nothing to lose. But I don't know. I think Paris is pretty good, man. I don't know. I of
do as
course
well.
they have
I would
weaknesses,
like-
but
I would like to talk about why. I think
Yeah, go.
if this was like a Guerrillas or a Seattle or anyone else, you may be able to pick anyone else in the league, and I may say the other team. The reason is I do not trust Paris to search and destroy, and
Okay.
that scares the heck out of me. If they do not like guarantee a search win against a team who's going through a bunch of roster changes, that is a problem to me. In which if the LA Thieves just come out hot, like kind of what we said, there's nothing to lose. If they're shooting well, they can win. But the fact is they're not the strongest search
5-9
team,
and 5-9 in search.
and that is a worry. That's a worry for me. That's all.
I can see the hard points. I give a hard point each to each team because I don't know. LA Thieves might just come out with the fire. Come out gunning, cracked. So one hard point apiece. Control, coin flip, S&D, not looking good for Paris. So their control win rate is a coin flip based on stats. It's a tough one. I think you have to give the benefit of the doubt to Paris though, just because
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what I'm
you
doing.
have to.
No,
right?
you
No, it's
No.
the reasonable thing to
Fire
do
will be
though.
back at challengers after that series. Scraps will be on Verdansk with Wuskin. Like, dude, they're getting dismantled. Swatch, this honeymoon period for Thieves is gonna be sick.
Bro, he is spitting bullshit today.
They just came out with a new fucking clothing line that they are gonna be on fire. Think about their fit, dude, for that match.
To
No, I
infinity
really-
and
I-
beyond, dude.
I really think Thieves are gonna win though. I do. I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
man.
That's why I said it. I said the same thing.
I
I
kind of
see that.
I want to say it too.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to Paris, but I can easily see the Thieves winning this at the same
Paris
time.
should win this. They absolutely
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
They have a ton of more experience as a team.
But does anyone else
But,
not believe in Paris still? Like they've looked.
I
good,
don't know
but
though.
still-
I just feel
Yeah,
like
no, I think Paris is.
all right.
I think Draws is good, dude. And like
I've heard good things about him,
Like,
like behind the scenes. I've
he
heard he's a
came
good
in
dude.
he came into like a weird situation last year too, and he did well. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
thought he should have started this year.
yeah,
so.
a lot of people did, dude. That's
Well, that team completely turned around.
chat says
I've
70%
heard from
Paris.
Muddog
That's
that he's a
reasonable.
really good kid. He's super motivated to be there. He's happy to do all the extra stuff. Like, he brings a really, really good vibe. That's what I've heard. And I think that goes a long way. I think that's going to help them, kind of what we talked about. So I can easily see them getting much better just because of that. But I just don't know if it's
I'm going
enough time.
Paris.
But we'll
I don't
see.
think there's enough time. If there was maybe like another week or two in between, I think I might go Thieves. But I think I'm going to go Paris. Crowder went Paris. You two went Thieves. Okay.
Wait, is that sorry to interrupt? Is that true? Draws was from Alaska and he moved
Yeah.
to try and become
Moved.
a pro.
Alaska.
He moved
What?
he moved to
That's
he
what
moved
I
to
mean, like,
Seattle.
Yeah, and so from what I've heard about him, that kind
He's
of makes
risked it
sense
all.
because,
He's
dude,
risked it all.
I've heard nothing but behind the scenes. Like, you tell him to do a photo shoot, he's there with a smile on his face. Like you tell him to do this, he's there. He's like, "Let's go! That was so fun!" Like a lot of people that have been in the league a long time, drag their feet. They don't really want to do that. It's kind of boring. Yada yada yada. Like he's there for everything and more. And I think with that being the story behind that, which is actually awesome, I can see that being a big motivator for him.
Wait, who
Maybe.
said? Was I playing with Nate? Did Nate say this or Jack? That they have content days, and even though he's not on the starting roster, all the 100 Thieves content days and stuff, he shows up before everybody else ready to rock.
Yeah,
I
no.
fucking love him. He's gonna fry.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So we're 2-2. We're 2-2 split. 2 Paris, 2 LA. Okay. We'll see who comes out on top on that one on the next episode. Florida, the last seed for Group B. They didn't look very good in their last matches leading up towards the major. Do we think? Well, we already know Clint's thoughts because he's on the Guerrillas train a little bit here. I guess the rest of us could speak a little bit. Do we think Florida has a chance of beating Guerrillas in current form?
Oh,
Probably
this
not.
is wrong. They actually beat Chicago 3-0. So that is one positive.
That is a positive.
This Florida
It is
team's
positive.
weird, man.
No, they could be.
Real
Yeah,
weird.
100%. I don't think they're going
Like,
to, but they could. Yeah.
Dude, this Florida team
Yep.
is so weird, man, because they can be so goddamn good,
But they're like never.
and
all
then
good.
like
It's like one
sometimes they just
trying
look
or,
like
you know,
just like a little bit off sync, like just not in sync, and I don't know. It's weird talking about them, to be honest. All I know is that Awakening's really good, and
I feel like it's just a coin flip
they're
of
just like a weird team right now.
which person is going to show up and drop a 1.6 on someone's forehead. You know, what I mean?
Did you say that
It's
like
tough to-
you feel
tough to
that
guess
way
about.
this entire team, like Florida? Like sometimes there's one's good and some aren't.
I guess it seems to me like I don't know, like some series like Skies takes over or like Awakening does, but it's not like the NYSL like balanced. It's not. I don't know. I feel like
Right. So you take the last two matches from Guerrillas away, and hasn't that been the same exact thing?
yeah, probably. I mean, Silly's just been shitting.
Right.
Everyone else around even.
Sure. I was just making sure. I was just using
Yeah.
your logic.
Oh, you're not wrong. But that's been like them like kind of all year, whereas Gorillas have only been good for like 3 matches. I had believed it. I'm telling you, I'm on the Silly train, bro. I'm riding him like a pony.
Riding him like a pony.
Yeah, he's a horse on his back, galloping.
That's a fun. Any photoshoppers in the chat? That'd be entertaining to see.
Like a zebra.
I think I'm voting Guerrillas. Clint votes Guerrillas.
I
Joe-
tricked everyone to pick Gorillas.
Joe votes.
I'm going Florida. I think Awakening and Skies. I think what he's talking about is Silly's playing really well. I just don't think that happens again versus Silly and Skies.
Yep. Okay.
Or versus against Skies and Awakening. I don't think that happens.
Crowder thoughts?
I'm gonna go Guerrillas based off their last 2 matches and their tweets about how they've been getting better in practice. Apparently, like those matches aren't as much of like they're playing well just on the day kind of thing. It seems like when they win those, they're talking about how well they've been doing before that match.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to me. So I'm going off of that. But yeah, I can easily see Awakening and Skies or someone just going crazy and winning that. So I don't know. Florida's just a weird team for me, man. It's the beginning of this year. We're gassing them up a lot. So much potential. And like now when you watch them, they're incredible. And then sometimes you're just like, they just don't look like their teamwork is there. So we got to see a little bit more.
My pick is completely recency bias. I am just going with it.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. Picking up that momentum in COD is huge. So that's why I can easily see like Guerrillas keep doing it. But
Mutineers also started here last
slash
time.
retweet?
They were in losers
Slash-
one.
slash
They
retweet.
lost.
wait, hold up. I'll go find it. So you can do it for the show too. Slasher tweeted.
Flasher?
Just
So he
wanted to-
just said.
What is-
Yeah,
go ahead.
that makes sense. Yeah, I never would have thought he did that.
Yeah, he said, just wanted to clear the air. As a competitor, I would never bench myself. This was not my decision. I still want to continue competing, would never give up. Appreciate all the support and good luck to the competing teams this weekend.
That's what we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they just needed.
That makes sense. Yeah,
They
there was,
needed a
Maybe
breath
he
of
was still
fresh
playing
air.
on those same servers last year.
I would have been very surprised if for some reason he did that. So that makes sense.
That's not surprising.
But I still wouldn't be surprised to see him come back if, like, what we kind of talked about, all the scenarios. We don't have to go down that again. But yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that enough for sure.
He's like Jordan, dude. He's gonna take a break. He's gonna become like a Gears pro for a month. Come back, dominate.
What?
That sounds fun. Okay. Prediction time. I know we did predictions on some of those loser bracket matches, so we just can kind of continue on from there. Let's go winner bracket. Okay. Bald idiot start.
What am I doing?
Yeah, unless you're eating, and then we could
Just
go.
the winners bracket.
Start with winners. Yeah.
I'm going Optic, Empire, then Faze over Optic, Røkkr over Empire, Faze over Røkkr, Faze is the final.
Yeah. Joe.
Optic, and then I think I'm gonna pick New York.
New York over Empire.
Over Empire. Just the way the recent Empire I've watched. This is all right. I'm just talking this to myself. This is also tough because Dallas has been in Group B. Like I just don't know if Group B has kind of put them in the ringer a little bit.
Yeah.
Or in New York's 4-1, as clean as it is it like they're that good, or does that group is it very one? There was 2 teams in there and they kind of took care of business. That's a tough one for me. And they 3-0'd him last major. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I'll go with New York.
Yeah.
Go with New York.
Okay. So you said Optic New York for the first win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Next round.
Oh.
I think I go Faze and what? New York versus Røkkr?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go New York again.
Ooh, New York. New York through winners. Like that. And then Faze versus New York in winter final.
Faze.
Crowder you're going to pick Faze. You want to talk about the bottom side of winners?
Sure. Yeah, hopefully my team does good,
Yeah,
and then
you'd
going
assume.
bottom side of here.
I think those are good
I think
matchups
I'm
for
gonna
New
go.
York.
I think I'm gonna go New York. I don't know why, but I think New York. I think New York is better than I don't know. Like Joe's point is really good. Like the other
They're
group was
really good
crazy.
matchups.
Yeah, like but New York played pretty well in our group, man. They looked like solid. Like for the most part, I'm gonna give the benefit to New York for some reason. I feel like they're just playing really well. I think they've been getting good practice overall. So I'm gonna give it like a 3-2 New York though. I think it's gonna be a really close series regardless. I don't think it's gonna be 3-1 either team or 3-0. So we'll see. So I think it's gonna be a really, really close series, close last map, and then Røkkr versus New York. I'm gonna go Røkkr.
Okay.
I think Røkkr has been on the up. I think they're getting better and better by day. And then
I'm all purple, dude. Guerrillas, Røkkr.
All purple. I'm going Optic, and then I'm going Faze, and then I'm going Empire, but super close series because it seems like whenever those teams play, it's gonna be a 3-2, and I think Empire just like turns up a little bit when it's major time. I don't know. That's might just sound stupid, and I'm not trying to be biased because I'm with Envy now. I just feel like
Fucking biased.
I feel like Empire is one of those teams that probably just puts in like more time with like VODs and like takes more out of those environments. I could be completely talking out of my ass.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
Definitely
really know.
I think you're right. I think they're really good at doing that. I see where you're coming from with that. I think they're a very good team that like learns like through it. I know they're still struggling in search, but I don't think they're a team that just like gives up either though. And I think that's
Yeah,
huge.
I mean, the only thing like weakness for me with like Røkkr at times is just like if they can just simply get out of class and respawns. And I mean, Empire could do that with how good like their hardpoints in, but I don't, dude. It's just so tough to find a weakness in New York. I mean, we were going over it their
Yeah.
one match with Maven. It's like it's
They're good,
unreal.
man. Yeah.
Like they don't really have many weaknesses. And I know they've lost
Fuck
the
off,
last couple of matchups versus Empire, but well, you're learning from it. You
I'm
learn.
not biased.
Bias.
And plus, and then Røkkr, the Røkkr matchup, if they can't win like Hardpoint, I don't know. I mean, obviously they won one versus Seattle, but New York's been really good at Hardpoint.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough matchup for Røkkr.
And then, so I picked Empire versus New York, Dallas versus Røkkr. Ooh, I kind of want
Røkkr's 2-0 against
to.
them.
I want to pick Røkkr. I'm picking Røkkr. I'm picking Røkkr versus Empire, and then Røkkr versus Faze. I'm picking Faze. And then,
Wait. Oh yeah, you can keep going first.
yeah, and then I guess we did winner bracket, right? Let's pull up the bracket one more time, and just throw out one team you guys think is gonna like make it through losers. You know, we don't have to go match by match or anything. Just like real quick, like if you had to pick one team that might get bopped down from winners and it'll make a little run in losers, one team.
Well,
I'm going Seattle.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, are we picking one team from the bottom or one team from the top?
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever you want.
Either or.
Like from losers or bop down into losers and
You
makes
have
a
to
run.
pick someone that got bopped down.
So Joe picks Seattle.
I pick NYSL to lose, so I think that they'd make a run 100%.
So
Yeah, the thing
going with my prediction, I picked Empire to lose a really, really close series, and I think we see them back to top 3
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah, I guess I have Empire losing not in the first round of winners, but the second, and I think Empire will make a run through losers. If that counts, they'll be a little bit further along in losers, but I guess I'd pick them just 'cause I feel like they're like, there's only so many well-rounded teams I feel like we have right now when you just look at stats, right? So I just feel like picking like a New York or a Dallas is like a really good pick for a losers team to like make a run. So
I have a question
Yeah,
for you, Teep.
I'm going Seattle just because you lose so many close series in a row. Like you just learn so much from that. I mean, the last time they played Dallas, they literally lost in round 11, game 5. Like, I
It
don't
was
know.
really close.
Yep. What's your
Teep,
question?
with the Røkkr versus Dallas matchup in the winners final,
Yeah.
or winners semi,
winner
whatever
semi.
it is. Doesn't matter. So like the Røkkr 2-0 against Dallas in group
Yes.
play matches. Do you think the stage match is any different? Like, do you think since it's in the major, do you think that like gives Empire any kind of an advantage? Because I've heard, I've heard just people talk about like I think Krim actually said it himself, like playing just in a major match compared to group stages, no matter how important group stages are just not the same. And I can completely see that as a competitor.
I see
Like,
that.
do you think like because we kind of talked about Empire not being that good in the first group, like not that good to their standard, but then they came out and made a final, pretty easily. So it's like, do you think that is like something that's true about them, like that? Because we haven't really talked about that at all.
I would say yes, because if you look at like some of their groups matches in stage 1,
Mhm.
is kind of similar, right? And then they get to the major and they looked a lot more polished. Røkkr just looks good since the change, though. I don't know. They got like
I'm just
a
throwing a wrench
they
into it,
kind of got like a swagger Røkkr does right now, right? So if you look at a team that's trending upward, and you look at Dallas, I wouldn't say they're trending down, but I say they're trending. Dallas is trending like even right now, I would say, right? So I guess that's where my pick lies. Usually teams trending upward or like kind of ride that wave for a bit. So, but yeah, it's a good point. I definitely think Dallas is a team that. I think every team will step their game up for a major, though. You just those matches are just way
But some
more
teams
fucking
definitely
important.
step up a little more than others,
Yeah.
and I would definitely give them the benefit of the doubt. In the
I
sense
would
that-
too.
That's why I said
just
for
because they were in the
stage
last
one.
final.
Yeah, for stage one, I mean, there was a lot of people where like they just looked horrible, then they finished in the final. Like,
Yeah.
I
Pretty good
obviously didn't play a great final, but they're a team that like when they have a day to prep, right? When they have a day in between a winners bracket match, like that's when Rambo Ray and Grim and those guys can kind of go to work and
I'll think there's
get the
like
maps that they want.
I'll think there's a bigger issue with the Empire is if they look the exact same in like a stage 3 later on. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to hash out shit, right? They're trying to
Like
like,
that team's not gonna make a change, right? Like
Yeah,
they can survive some up and down, whereas like other teams can't. So like yes,
Right.
we care more about how they look in a couple months.
yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah,
that's what
I mean, that's people forget about that too with the season. Like,
Yeah.
of course, you want to win every major you go to, but it is also the long game to it too.
Wow.
You want to win as many majors as you can. You want to win, but you also have to remember like how to react to losses and make sure these are positive things moving forward to the next majors too. So that's like why what you guys said about Dallas is always a thing too. Yeah, makes sense.
The Røkkr thing too. What did I see? Is it Jake Sucky or whatever's Twitter? Like he tweeted like so shocked when they turned it around. I was like, shouldn't really be that shocking. Like we
Well,
all thought
I
they were
had
going to be
them
like a
at
top 4
4.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. We thought they'd be like a top 4 team. They weren't. I'm not shocked if like a little change like that. Well, it's not like little. It's like a 2-person change in a way, like with the swap and roles.
yeah.
Not shocked that they're good. I mean,
The
it
only
makes
thing that's
sense.
shocking, I would say, not shocking. I don't think the word's useful there, but they just had a really tough run to do what they did because they had to go through Optic and Dallas.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Well, that
That
part
was
of it
not
looked good.
shocking
Yeah.
because I still think they're a good enough team to beat those teams. I think they could beat
Oh,
any
yeah.
team in the league. I think they're great, but that was just being down bottom of the standings, going through a quick change, and then playing those teams. It's like, damn, we have a road ahead of us, and they did it.
Yeah. I guess I was more meant like I wouldn't have been shocked if it was like a small change and they were good. I mean, we thought they'd be good.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised that they're as good as they are. So
Yeah.
for sure.
All right, guys, chat. Let us know your thoughts. I know you guys have been participating along with the predictions too, so thanks for joining us along with that. We didn't really do overall winner, but I think we all kind of alluded to Faze. I think we're all picking Faze to win it.
You have to be
Or
on fucking LSD
Yeah.
right now to someone else. Yeah.
Just double check.
The only way they wouldn't is if they lose like a like 2 best 5. I just don't.
Yeah.
If they get to the final, it's done in my mind.
Totally, absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Like
The
if they
only
lost
teams that
like a
can push
Røkkr
them-
game 5 and then maybe lost like in the losers bracket.
Is there no change to
That's
the
a
final?
way.
Is there no change to
I-
the final with like map up count, like map 1?
I have not seen
I
anything
think so.
about that.
Probably
So
the
basically,
same.
other than being because we talked about this last time we played in the finals, there was the only thing that was that veto advantage, which was like cool, but like, okay, so I didn't know if that changed. I didn't know if that was a thing. I actually don't know myself. I probably should know that, but
I have no clue actually.
Okay.
The only announcement we got was that won that top 4 Sunday, right?
Yeah.
That's the only
The
one.
winners finals Sunday or Saturday, right? Winners finals Saturday and losers 5 gets bumped or what changed? Did I fuck that up?
I'm pulling up
Danny
the
said
article real
yes.
quick.
Looney said yes. I don't know what he's saying yes to.
I think
Okay.
winners final got bumped to Saturday instead of being Sunday, and losers 5 went to Sunday.
Oh wait, I have one last question. Asim's in here
Go.
from New York.
Go.
Do you guys think COD League should bring out more awards this year, like Rookie of the Year, MVP, Most Improved Player, Best AR, Best SMG, et cetera, et cetera? I
As long
personally,
as players voted on it, I'm cool with it. I don't
Yeah.
think the public should have anything to touch with that.
And I
I'm
hate when
about
like
it.
Player
player
voted.
votes on our box
If that was a
screen,
player
who do you
voted
think's
thing,
MVP? I'm like,
If there's a player voted or like and coach voted, I'm about it. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd like
But
that. That'd
that
be
shouldn't
cool.
that shouldn't be a public vote just because
It's
fan
way
base.
better when the pros and the coaches do it because
I think it'd be awesome,
it means
That'd be
more.
sick.
Like community votes are just like, you already know who's gonna win them. That'd be
Not
sick.
believe, not one of you have faith in Optic
NVTP.
to win it. Like what, dude? How the fuck? What? How
What-
could you
what?
pick
They can
Optic to
win it.
the
I
event
mean,
right now?
we've talked
Is it
about why we don't
possible?
think.
Sure, it's possible, but it'd be insane.
But I think
I think they can win it. I just think they have
100%.
some
I
glaring
think,
issues
yeah,
right
wait.
now.
Yeah,
I think they're
We-
easily.
there's
gonna
not my
win.
pick to win, but they could win it. Yeah,
We broke down in pretty decent detail like what they need to do. I think we said like if they did that, they have a pretty good shot
But
of
if you're
being
picking
elite.
them to win the
and
event,
to
you
win.
have scum like underwear on.
They might. Yeah, definitely could. Let's talk schedule. This thing starts tomorrow. My goodness gracious. We got Paris versus LA. We have Guerrillas versus Florida to start off the Wednesday matches. And then we move on. We have New York versus Dallas Empire, Optic versus Ultra, London versus the winner of the matches on Wednesday, and then Seattle versus the winner of the other match on Wednesday. And then you guys can see how all those fill in throughout the rest of the week and weekend. I'm super excited to see. All the matches are going to be pretty damn good. I think Thieves is like probably the biggest storyline right now, right?
It's all gonna be nuts, man.
Well,
This
them and Guerrillas.
this
It's like
event-
I think this losers one is kind of interesting because of Guerrillas and Thieves. I think losers one last major was pretty meh. Where this one, I think,
Yeah.
because we're going to see like, all right, Thieves now, and then, all right, is Guerrillas legit? Like that's just the question. Can
Yeah.
they keep it up from week to week to week to week, from match
is-
to match?
And
It's one of the few
then
times I'm just pissed we're not on land. Like I want to get back, but like going into this event, I'm just fucking. I did.
Bro, imagine the 1v1 between Illy and Scump
Dude.
on land.
oh,
Just like imagine the atmosphere before that gunfight went down, dude.
Oh, I remember the one with what did I
Wow.
cast? The one with him and Cell, dude. That Joe and I did
Yeah.
that Faze Optic match.
Frequency.
I
Yeah.
had chills up and down my wiener, dude. It was awesome.
yeah. All right, guys. Chat, thank you so much. Got about 2.5 hours in for the episode
A
today.
deep one.
Yep. Long episode. Absolutely
Yeah.
great time. Matches start tomorrow. You two know your casting schedule. I assume it'll be on the weekend. Like,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yep.
Yeah.
Probably the usual for you guys. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we swap off the final this time. Like we're alternating probably with Miles and Chance like last year.
Got
I
it.
think
That's cool.
if it's final, I don't know.
Very nice. You guys will see these two casting. We wish Crowder luck. Hopefully you guys can take it home once again. Crowdy boy, good luck, buddy. And chat, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of Hardpoints. Check out our streams every single morning. We play a shit ton of Call of Duty. Follow the boys. You can figure out their Twitter on the screen right here, their Twitch, etc. Follow all their content. BTP for life. I fucking love these guys, baby. Chat, we love you. Tap the follow button. Quick ad break, and we'll
Creator
see you
code
guys.
Maven.
Yep. Use the oh yeah, creator codes. Wait, plug that shit real quick. Hold up.
So none of the other guys got him. I did though. It's Maven all caps.
Joe got one.
Wait, didn't Joe get one?
I'll go. I mean, go ahead. I mean, mine's probably outdoing his by 10 times. So go for it.
Shit.
Merk all
Why you
caps.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Credit code Merk MERK all caps.
Merk all caps, baby. Let's go.
I'm sad now.
Guy
feel
plays
left
with
out.
Nick Merckx once. His viewers down
Well,
below. Listen to him.
We're gonna get you incredible.
Shit.
Twice,
Same-
bro. It was twice.
Same thing happened to Chris.
Well,
Fuck.
don't-
Twice, dude.
Don't
He's
worry.
got player Nick,
Absolutely,
dude,
Nick
so that
versus
you
the
pop
man,
off.
bro. I love Nick. Mhm,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna start fucking DMing that. Hey, Nick.
All right, chat.
Yep.
We'll see you on the streams. Enjoy the CDL matches. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Hardpoints to talk through probably the major. Have a good one,
Merk, not
everybody.
Maven.